Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World News Network. It's Saturday morning live stream. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Saturday morning. There is just so much going on. Of course, it was a busy week because we had trooping and then the Order of the Garter and then Royal Ascot. So many things within the British royal calendar, which was so much fun. And of course, last night we had some royal Swifties. I don't know if you guys have seen this particular picture or not, but it was on the Kensington Palace page, reshared by Kensington Palace. And then there is another one too. So it looks like William, George, and Charlotte all went to the Taylor Swift concert, in addition to Mike Tindall, Zara Tindall, and apparently Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia of Spain as well. So that is the one from Taylor Swift. Let me get over here and share the other one because this one's so cute too. Isn't that adorable? So it's just so much fun to see all the kids just having a great time. Obviously, Louis was at home. Maybe he's not a big Taylor Swift fan or he was too young, but so cute. I think they had a fantastic time. There's also a great video somewhere of Prince William dancing. And so it's just like awesome to see the family just having such a great time. And I just think it's kind of funny. Someone went to a Taylor Swift concert and just didn't seem to get a picture with Taylor Swift. Be interesting to know, right? And so we also have some news with obviously Harry and Meghan. There's a video that dropped. It didn't really drop, but it kind of came to the forefront that somebody reshared. And I have seen the video and I did a video on it, but I haven't had a chance to edit it yet. I was working on editing a tiara video yesterday and everything. So just so much going on, but I have a video on that. And then we also had Richard Eden dropped a new thing on American Riviera Orchard. And, Meghan has spent all this time sharing jam, but apparently her focus for the first product is rosé wine. So I'm like, well, why did you name it Orchard if it's going to be really vineyard because you're selling wine? The whole thing makes no sense, guys. There are so many good nuggets in there. I'll probably do a whole video on that because I found it really, really fascinating. And I still don't think this is going to be the magic bullet Meghan Markle thinks it is, or maybe even Netflix thinks it is. If I was Netflix, I'd be really cautious about my enthusiasm for it. We also have a lot of celebrations surrounding King Philippe's 10 years on the throne. We have, it's midsummer in Sweden. So we got a picture from Princess Madeline and her kids. And so just so much going on. So guys, welcome. And so we'll just start off. Maria Angela's Martin Ramirez says, good morning, Brittany and Miss Pippa. Miss Pippa is chilling downstairs, but she decides to come up and let me know. I will bring her in. Sarah says, looking forward to joining you today with Loki and Ophelia in Limerick. Are people in general just in denial about Harry and Meghan's lies and carry on? I just can't believe they don't get called out. Yes, I mean, I think they're getting called out. Actually, I kind of included it in the video on reacting to the video. But what I found is kind of interesting over time is I almost find in some ways Meghan Markle boring because she lives down to expectations. Like we predict, oh, she's going to do X. And of course she does X, like with the whole dropping another picture of American Riviera Orchard around Trooping the Color and Catherine's return. It's like, of course she's going to do that. It's like, she hasn't really done anything that's really all that interesting or noteworthy. We talk about her in relation to her connection to the royals and the impact on that, which is what I try to focus on. But overall, like, it ain't really that interesting. So this is just going to be, and so it'll be, I think more and more people are waking up to the Harry and Meghan stuff. And I think a lot of their, you could say, social clout has diminished quite a bit because they took away the one thing that made them interesting. Like Meghan Markle as a middling actress is not that interesting. Like she hasn't accomplished anything. Like her greatest accomplishment is something she did apparently when she was 10. And I think that was mostly a concoction of her father. So she hasn't accomplished all that much, really. Peggy Spungen, thank you so much for the tip this morning. Hi, Brittany. Love that Prince William took the kids to see Taylor Swift. Remember when Meghan said she saw her in LA but had no photos? LOL. Fast forward. Photos last night. Taylor Swift and Prince William are good friends. Yes, I sort of kind of love this just because of that. I just think it's so much better because at the end of the day, yes, obviously being a royal, means you kind of get more attention and those sorts of things. But at the same time too, I just don't think that many people, if they're smart, really want to be that closely associated with Meghan Markle, especially when you can get the two future kings of England. Yes, I know it's the United Kingdom, but I like saying King of England because it kind of has this like, I don't know, historical cachet. Maybe it's the Robin Hood movie from like Disney in the 60s or whatever. But anyways, he's going to be the future King of England, William. George is also going to be the future king of England. You got the future Princess Royal. It's like these are people with actual influence and power. And Meghan left all the things that made her influential and powerful with the royal family. So it's like kind of like, oh my goodness, my dear, you really, really, really messed this up here. But I just think this is adorable. And Mike, Tindall, and Zara were there. I hope their kids were there too. Didn't really see any pictures of them, but I think I think so. Maybe there was a girl that Mike was hugging in one of the pictures that could have been Lena. So, I mean, I would have hoped they would bring Mia and Lena, because Mia is about a year older than Charlotte, and Lena maybe a year or two younger than Charlotte. So, just really hope. But it's so cute. Diz fan, thank you so much for the tip as well. Good morning, Brittany. The Waleses are winning the game while Dog Biscuit Jam and talking down right bad when about your in-laws are not going to cut it. No. And you can't be a cosplay royal. The cosplay royal routine is just not going to work after a period of time because, again, you're not really royal. You don't really get anything out of it. And so I just think, again, dog biscuits and jam, especially if apparently the actual first product of the ARO is going to be wine, is stupid. It's like stupidity. What is the point of the stupid campaign? What is the point? There's no point now. There is no point. Oh my gosh, guys, I just can't get around this idea that ARO is going to be there. Like, ARO is promoting products that it's never intending on selling, maybe because they're all from Meghan Markle's garden. So if she doesn't have enough, raspberries to make more than 2 jars of raspberries, like, and that anybody thinks that's going to be successful. So yeah, ain't going to cut it. In my personal opinion. Peggy says, I just saw the photos from Taylor Swift concert last night. Prince William, George, Charlotte. Charlotte is a Swiftie. I think so. Ellen says, beautiful picture of the beautiful family. Have a blessed day, Brittany. Why, thank you. Wendy said, good morning. Good morning, Wendy. Wendy says, did Diana invite celebrities to meet William? I feel like she did. I'm just not as familiar with the Diana time period, really, to tell you the truth. I know, like, the boys got to meet the Spice Girls. I think that was a big deal. And I think she introduced William to some models, I think, or something. But he was also, pretty young. He was 15 when she died. Harry had, was about to turn 13 when she passed. And so there's just, it's that time where they're starting to, like, kind of grow into that. And so really that was more of his father's era in some ways. So we have Tammy. Good morning, all from Nigeria Falls, Ontario. Hello. We got Lori. Good morning, everyone. Got to go to the dry cleaners this morning. Probably listening in the car. Love from Louisiana. Why, thank you, Kimberly. Good morning, everyone. We have Azima. Can't make the live as I'm in the Isle of Wight Festival. Happy Saturday, Brittany and RNN fam. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. Nadia. Hello, everyone in the chat. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hello. I think I said der like German, but the Netherlands. I love the Netherlands. I really hope to go back here. I don't think probably this year, but maybe next year. Kimberly says, yes, absolutely love that family picture. Me too. I was like trying to think of what to do, and I'm trying to be in some ways a bit more positive. And I just thought, you know what? I like that picture. We're going to go with it. Kimberly says, have a good time, Azima. Azima says, a Father's Day should be make certain people aware how lucky they are to still have a dad. Yes. What is the mine video? I think, oh, yes. So yeah, again, this is a video where I will do, I have, again, a video wholly filmed on it already. But the whole situation was Harry and Meghan were at, one of their Nigeria events, and Harry's being given some things like clothes, and they're talking to him, and Meghan like kind of pushes her way up front and then like takes these beads and they put it around her neck, and then they kind of tell her, well, actually, these are meant for Harry. These ones over here are for you. So they had to take the beads off her neck and put them on Harry. And then she proceeds to stand right in front of him. Really, like, I mean, it's such an obvious narcissistic tendency. Attention hog, attention seeker, like so many things. It's kind of funny because I always kind of gauge, if I say something, if I share something, what does the other side react to it? And the other side's not really reacting to the video because there's no way to defend it, I don't think. Like, how do you defend it? She looks kind of cuckoo. Like, my mom was watching it and she's like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? So my question on Twitter was, is she 5 or almost 43? It's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell in that video because somebody just can't stand it if somebody else is getting a smidge of attention. Kimberly says, I often wonder who's going to be one to put the final nail in their coffin. I mean, I think it's honestly going to be themselves because nobody really likes them, unfortunately. And this is, again, the bad thing about Meghan Markle's brand is in so-called lifestyle. And her whole thing is she lives in a $15 million mansion or $14 million or whatever it is in Montecito, one of the most exclusive zip codes in the entire world. And her brand is going to be about accessibility, having luxury for yourself. When she wears $1,000 Hermes sandals and has a $2,000+ Hermes blanket, that doesn't work. That does like the gap between what she does, like how she lives and how she, wants to make luxury available to people is kind of dumb because you really have to almost lean into the luxuriousness and exclusivity of your lifestyle because you can't live in a $15 million mansion and go, oh, this $30 shirt is great. And I wear it every day when she really doesn't. Because, like, for me, I put this on today because I'm trying to sometimes dress up a little bit more in the day because sometimes I wear sweats a bit too often. So this is a Calvin Klein dress I got for $30 at like Ross, I think. And so it's like, I have some things that are quite expensive. I actually have a dress I'm going to do for the fashion channel that I need to do an unboxing and wearing for. I also have another piece of clothing that I probably should not have purchased, but I did. And I'm really excited about it. But I got to work a little bit before I show you guys. But it's like you kind of are like you have to be able to bridge this gap, which I think Catherine does really well between luxury and exclusivity and high street. Catherine does those two things very, very well. She'll wear really, really expensive things and pair them with sometimes inexpensive things. Like overall, I would say a lot of her jewelry is sort of inexpensive in costume. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Meghan just can't do that though with her brand because everything she wears is thousands upon thousands of dollars. Like we've all seen it, we've all marketed it or tracked it. Like everything she wear, like she can wear like $100,000 worth of jewelry that's just not even her like main staples sometimes. And so it's like, how can you kind of okay, I had to wait for a whole video for that because I have a lot of feelings on that. And when you compare it to Gwyneth Paltrow, Goop is pretty exclusive in a lot of ways. Most of the products there are very expensive. And so she leans into the luxuriness of her lifestyle, the expensiveness of it, and everything, which makes sense because that's the lifestyle she lives. Meghan Markle does not strike me as somebody who's thrifty. Actually, I want to do kind of a video and maybe I'll do it today too for the fashion channel. Just going through because this is like a super big sale time. So if you're like any piece of royal clothing you're interested in, there are sales everywhere that you can take advantage of. And so that I got two things from sales. I kind of wish I had gotten a third, but I drug my feet on it and I missed out. And so there's like an opportunity for you to save quite a bit and get something super duper nice and, still probably pretty expensive, but like Meghan has never struck me as somebody who's thrifty. In fact, she's, again, I should wait until I get there. But okay, we'll go over here to Peggy again, member for 10 months. You got to see the video of Prince William dancing Shake It Off. So funny. And it's easy to see where Louis gets his dance moves. So yeah, let's go find that one real quick. And so let's see, because I think I reposted it because I was like, all right. So here, it's apparently it's Shake It Off. So we can't don't want to get copyright struck or anything. So here we go. Oh. Okay, apparently I can't do that. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I can't make it bigger, but there's Prince William. And I think that's Zara actually right there next to him. And then over on the really, really far side over here, you can briefly see is Charlotte. Very like small right there. So a lot of William dad dancing moves there, I gotta say. And so he looks like he is really shaking his tushy. And which is awesome. You just gotta love it. I'm kind of glad we didn't get more videos because I think it just like, preserves what, their experience and stuff. I think that's great. And so it didn't look like it was too invasive. And they actually did add it and then removed it. And so obviously there was some things. Oh, and most people tell me at some point to turn back on my little sign. And then since we're wearing orange today, we can make it orange. It's not fun. Okay. So let's see. Rit says, a good morning from Chicago. We got Catherine. I'm looking forward to this chat. Tested positive for corona, so I'm under some blankets with some tea. I'm so sorry. That's never fun to be sick. I'm so sorry to hear that. Wish you get well soon. Yeah, this week, it's not COVID, but I get allergies. I have a lot of allergies, and sometimes I kind of get, what is the word I'm looking for? Sometimes I just sort of get like hay fever, and I had that on Thursday. So I meant to do a lot more on Thursday, but I end up sneezing a lot. I kind of get a sinus headache, and it's just like I was like, I don't want to put makeup on. Yesterday too, like one of my eyes was driving me nuts, and so it's kind of a symptom of this time of year because I had about the same trouble last year. I really need to get like an actual allergy test because I know I'm allergic to pet dander, but beyond that, I'm not sure. This fan said, seeing the whales with Taylor is almost like seeing Princess Diana with Elton John and Michael Jackson. Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for the tip, too. Yeah, so many. And everybody, of course, wants to get a picture with a royal. Who wouldn't want to, right? Right? All right, we have Casey, good morning from cloudy New Hampshire. We have Yulong, hi from Huntington Beach, California. And I know I pronounced that wrong. I'm so sorry. Olinda, hello, Brittany and everyone. Good afternoon from sunny Madrid. Casey, did anyone see the video of Meghan Nigeria stepping in and taking gifts meant for Harry? Unbelievably rude. Yes, again, like I said, we'll have a whole video on that later today. It's actually so hot where I am. I actually probably will stay home most of the day today because I don't want to get out. It's so hot. I got out this morning. I'm like, oh, it's so hot. So maybe lots of work to do and catch up on because Thursday really threw me for a loop. Crystal Garcia, thank you so much for the tip. And not to give him any credit, but I often wonder if all these things, isms, rude behavior, Meghan knew would be brought up. So she planted seeds in Harry's head. So when it did come up, he already knew her version. I could 100% see that. And I think, again, there's like so much manipulation that goes on, I think, behind the scenes. And Harry is so at this point, like, he's kind of sort of stuck with her. She's separated him from his entire family, all his former friends. Like, I have no doubt if the situation was different and Harry was married to a different woman, him and his kids would be there with William and Zara and Mike shaking their tushies to shake it off. And so that he's not there is just a reflection of Meghan, and Harry goes to concerts because Meghan wants to go to concerts or plays or whatever. And if she doesn't want to go with him to something, she doesn't. Like the Living Legends of Aviation Award, you cannot tell me that Meghan really didn't go because of a sick child. I just don't believe that. But you got to wonder too, you kind of sometimes, at least what I think sometimes, is you put yourself under your own delusions too. And I'm sure that happens a lot with Meghan. Harry's like already aware of what she'll say, what she'll do. And in order to live peaceably in his home, he abides by certain things. And so I don't think he has a particularly, I would say, happy home. And that would just be my theory personally, is that he doesn't have a very happy home sometimes. And that, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but you just got to think, you just got to look at the behavior in everyone, and it just doesn't seem like a very good stable life for him and the kids. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of sort of what happens there in the future. But yeah, I'm sure he is always aware of what she'll say, what she'll do, and he is always towing the line, following all the directions to make sure that he doesn't make her upset, that she is happy and content. Like even when she tries to steal the stuff meant for him, he's trying to comfort her, as someone pointed out. And because everything has to revolve around her. Like I'm sure his whole life now, his whole brain, everything he thinks about is Meghan, 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 because heaven forbid Meghan is upset. Heaven forbid Meghan isn't happy. Yada, 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 yada. So it all goes down that way. And we got Irma. Thank you so much for the super chat this morning. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. All right. So we got Carol. The Wales' family took a selfie with Taylor Swift last night in the concert. Yes, she did. Hello, Brittany and everyone. I'm not close to a big Swiftie fan. Cannot even stand her impact. So I'll sit this one out, but super love Brittany, her content, and her shine. Yes. I mean, and the whole chat's not about Taylor Swift, but I just thought it's just cute, right? Jennifer says, P.S. I'm in the mountain state, West Virginia, by the way, and please pray as we are in a drought. I'm so sorry. Yes, it's really hot. We actually haven't had any rain where I'm at either in quite a while. Because usually this time of year you get storms, and it's kind of nice because it kind of lessens the humidity a bit. And I enjoyed thunderstorms, but we haven't had one, I think, in a week or two. So I need to water my yard today. Ruth says, good morning from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Another hot day. Yes. Allison says, good morning. She's one of our members from a hot NYC. The photo of Taylor Swift posted won the internet today. So far, stay cool, everyone. Yes. Lizzie says, hi, all. Good morning, Ms. Brittany and Ms. Pippa. Yes, we will be hanging out inside today. Casey says, the smiles in the Taylor Swift picture are priceless and a joy to see. Yes, they are. Just such a great, again, just love it. I just think it's so great. It's good to see the kids having to, getting to experience something like this. Jennifer says, super hot here already too. Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. Oh, and thank you, Allison. I'm a cancer survivor as well and I hope and pray it stays away from the lovely Princess Catherine. Yes, I'm glad you are doing well as well, Jennifer. Kaza says, what a joyous 8 to 9 days we've had. The Wales' family has rocked it so well. Super happy for them and for the royal family fans. Yes, and I will have to say the happy birthday picture for William was not what anyone was expecting, but it's adorable. I love it. Kaza says, good morning, because it's such a dad thing. That's what's so great about it. It's such a dad thing to do. It's like, let's go over here, run. It's not something I would really totally see them do with Catherine, even if she was healthy, maybe. But I feel like it's just something so more of a dad to do. It's just a bit more of that funness that dads bring to the equation. Good morning from Girls Weekend in Savannah. 2 pennies, Pensy nuts. Greetings from Long Island, New York, and hot. Oh, yes. Becky says, what a royal week it has been. It has. Shaz says, good afternoon from sunny Motherwell, Scotland. I will be in Scotland soon. I'm kind of glad because it's like, we were looking at the temperatures, it's like the mid 60s. And I'm like, whoo, that's going to be such a nice break. But it's hard too, because if you fly out from a really hot place into a much cooler place, it's like, how do you wear, because you got to wear something preparing for where you land. But when you leave, you might be really, really hot and you don't really want to get super sweaty on the plane. I don't know if anybody's experienced. That's not, yeah. Joanne Fisher said, good morning from cloudy and warm Southern Arizona. A great week for the RF. Yes. Oh, yes. Disfan says, did anybody notice Mike Tindall's shirt last night? Yes. It said, it was the lyrics to, let me see. I did a screenshot of his Instagram because he did, oh gosh. It's Calm Down. It's like the lyrics from Calm Down. So what did it say? You need to calm down. So, and Zara had gold sequins. Wendy Van Rokel, keep cool. Great to see your smiling face today. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. I do appreciate that. I'm so glad. And I hope you guys all have, again, a wonderful day. Stay safe and cool if you can. Crystal, good morning, RNM family. We got Joan, good morning. What a wonderful time to be a fan of the BRF. Yes, oh yes. Kaza says, yes, Joan, how right you are. Tanya says, good morning from Ohio, where it's hotter than Satan's armpit right now. Oh, goodness. 2 pennies nuts. Plates are breaking in Montecito after hearing Prince William and the kiddos got to meet Taylor and Kelsey. Yes. You just got to wonder if Meghan's there stewing, going, get a meeting with Taylor Swift or something. And nobody even knew she was at the concert until later because she had to tell people, I'm sure. Shaz says, I love the picture. It's good of yours. It's a good up yours to the squatties and Harry and Meghan. Bosie tried to say it was fake and got such backlash. I pissed myself laughing. Yeah, it's obviously not fake. Like people do that. And somebody posted, and I don't know if I can find it. It's probably on Twitter somewhere, a video of the kids, like Anne and Charles as children doing the same thing as in the dunes. And so let me see this person. Just going to try to see real quick if this person, because I think I saw it from this one person, but I could be totally and completely wrong here. But they kind of repost a lot of the same things, so I might not get there. But there's actually a video, again, of the royal kids. So this is like Charles and Anne jumping in the dunes. And I think some of it, and this is, of course, like just a reality of the situation, is Bosie just doesn't know what he's talking about 9/10 of the time. And it really shows. And he gets stuck in weird, like when he said, well, he kind of made the fuss of, well, why isn't William going to the Easter service in Windsor? And I'm like, because he's in Norfolk. This is like hours away by car. if you don't actually pay attention to what royals do and how royals do, you kind of make kind of dumb mistakes. And if you've never been to the dunes in Norfolk, how do you know that's not what people do? How do you know that's not what like it's perfectly reasonable with the blue sky and everything. I don't see anything wrong with the picture. And I'm not a professional photographer, but I do have a professional camera, which is too smart for me, but it does what I needed to do. So, yes. Patricia Kelsey, good morning, everyone. We got Jenny from Portland. We got Firebird. Big hello from Geneva, Switzerland, where today's temperature does not yet feel very much like summer, unfortunately. Oh, lucky you. Lucky you, because it definitely feels like summer here. Because it says, come to Savannah where it's raining every 15 minutes and 100% humidity in between. I'm a native Southerner, so I'm used to it. But Savannah is next level. Yeah, I'm not in the South. So I avoid some of it, but man, I prefer drier heat personally. Jessica says, good morning, everyone from very wet Minnesota. So excited to join. Trina, hey, Trina. Good morning. We had a triple royal events. Catherine at Trooping the Garter. Walk with those beautiful plumes. Yes. Oh, yes. And of course, Royal Ascot would be the third. And so, yes, just so fun. Sophie says, bonjour, tout le monde. I don't know what that means. Tout le monde. Good morning. I don't know. Becky says, just saw the photo with Tay. What? Yep. Deirdre says, good morning, Brittany, from my garden in Chicago. I hope you are doing well. Peggy says, good morning from Michigan. So looking forward to this live chat. We got Brandy. Good morning. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Jenny says, Catherine looked incredible at Trooping. She did. She looked absolutely incredible. We got Margie, hi from London. DS, wow, what a week. Thanks for going live for Trooping. Princess Catherine was radiant. Silly Louis, etc. So much in royal news. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, it is just so fun. Just such a fun week. And I really hope maybe next year, again, I would love to. I mean, it would depend on how kind of things go, but I would actually love to, do a couple of months in Europe, especially between like April and June, especially June next year. I think I'd really plan to do like several weeks just so because there's so much going on. So just be great. Tina said, good afternoon. I think these are Danish kroner. Thank you so much, Tina. Hope you are doing well. We also have Sarah. Thank you so much for the tip. The Waleses somehow make themselves relatable while still being royal. Harry and Meghan pretend to be relatable and royal and are neither. That is such a great point. And yeah, that's just so true. Harry and Meghan pretend to be royals and they're not. So it just doesn't quite work. And then they pretend to be relatable all the time when they're really not. Again, the idea of Meghan going forward with ARO, like affordable luxury, when she would never purchase, when she constantly buys the most expensive brands possible, I just don't think it works. I think the brand already, from what I hear, comes across as very unrelatable because the person running it doesn't really believe in what she's saying and doing. Like, again, there's something to, I think, being authentic in terms of you say what you do. And not everybody can master this. And sometimes, things go wrong. You don't get what you want and everything. But I really do try to live what I say, if that makes sense. So it's like, I like buying sometimes nicer things, but I get a lot of things on sales, guys. I work really, really hard to find the best sales possible. I even purchased something that I'm going to show off hopefully here in a little bit. I actually purchased it during a sale when they had an extra 10% off. So I saved even more. And so I was like, you try to, so it's nice and it's expensive, but it's also affordable. And, I say, you try to balance these things. Meghan Markle just doesn't do that. Catherine does, I think, such a great job at that, is that she buys expensive things, she buys inexpensive things, and she mixes them together. And she doesn't, wear the same expensive thing every single time. And you could look at somebody like, I would say more like Charlene, and that's just because Monaco has a lot of money. Most of her outfits are new and very, very expensive because she can do that. Other royals do tend to fall into that trap sometimes of wearing almost always luxury things when they can get away with sometimes cheaper things. Actually, Spain is a great example of where most of the time they actually purchase things that are very affordable. And when it comes to even the kids, Catherine and William, you have them being moments where they're very, very formal. Charlotte knows, watching the coronation and everything, she knows how to appropriately behave. She can be very regal with her brothers and everything. And George as well. I think George is a little shy, but he can be very regal. And yet then they can be very approachable. They can be jumping over the dunes in Norfolk, and they can be going to a Taylor Swift concert and getting a selfie and doing the thing that every child wants to do. And so I think it's that walking that line. And yes, not every child gets to meet with Taylor Swift, but they're also too looking more casual. They're not all formal and everything like they usually are. So again, I think Catherine and William do that so well. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan just come across as very unrelatable. Their lifestyle, you could say, is aspirational because they seem to spend a lot of money, but they also just don't seem to be something where it's like, oh, I can see myself achieving that, which is why again, I want to do a whole video on it because I read the whole article. I was like, oh my gosh, just trying to make Aero like aspirational luxury, I just think or whatever she's trying to do, I think it's a bad idea personally. But thank you so much, Sarah. You are so right. Raven79, thank you so much for the tip. Happy for the Wales' family. Megan is screaming in Montecito. Taylor Swift chose a side, the only side, in my opinion. Love your channels. Why, thank you. Yes, and I have a video I'm doing on the Japanese estate visit and some of the tiara options that we might see, which was a lot of fun. And so I only have, I think, 6 more minutes of it to edit. But those take longer because I have to add like video clips and stuff. And I try to find old pictures and everything. And sometimes that takes a while. And so I will get that up hopefully right after this. That's my plan. And then finish the other video. And then I'll film an ARO video and then an unboxing video. And like, we'll just go and or maybe a shopping video going over all again, guys, if you want anything royal that's sort of luxury, right now is your time to look at the sales. Neiman Marcus, Saks, Bergdorf Goodman, Net-a-Porter. The Outnet has like an extra percentage off. Just a whole bunch of different companies right now. You can get a little bit extra off if you're interested. So just something to keep in mind. Finally, we have Bella of Raindrops. Thank you so much for the tip. Sugars met their match in Swifties. They'll crush them. Such a joyful pick from last night. What a week it's been for royal fans. My vid is gold. Yes. And what's funny too is, again, is like the Swifties are like diehards. They are diehards. And so I can't not imagine that if Taylor throws her weight to one side, all the Swifties, the hardcore Swifties, will go in that direction. And Taylor Swift has many more like followers and Uber fans and stuff than Meghan does. I think really when it comes to this, like I can't even think of like a pro Meghan Markle YouTube channel. I feel like you see more of them on TikTok, maybe. But there's just not a ton of really, when you think about it, pro Meghan stuff, except for maybe on Twitter. And I feel like a lot of that is just inflated. And so I really think her well to pull from is pretty low. And again, they have not been able to convert people into watchers for most of their content that's not related to royalty. So again, the cooking show might be the difference. I still don't understand why she can't do interviews for the cooking show and do stuff for Lemonada at the same time. I think that's a little bit of a cop-out on her part and just shows she doesn't really want to work that hard. And I don't think I can't foresee, unless she would only talk to the same people all the time. If she goes into this and talks to Serena Williams, what's her name? Mindy Kaling, Paris Hilton, this is for her cooking show, and basically talking to all the people she talked to in her archetypes show and adding a couple other people. It's like, well, how's this different? Like you're talking to the same people. You only have the same people to draw from time and time again. That's not gonna do well. Again, Meghan Markle has failed to do the one thing she really should have done, is that shows she has a talent as something. She's waited too long. Just so many things. So I hope that makes sense. Trina says, oops, my finger slipped. Also Royal Ascot races with the bonus of Prince William dancing in a concert. Yes, his dad dancing. We love it. Two Pensy Nuts says, love this shot. Princess Catherine is getting loads of practice while she is recovering. I can see an album for King Charles's Christmas. That would actually be amazing, is to have like a family portrait gallery by Catherine of her family. I'm sure there are so many amazing pictures we have never seen. Kieran says there is a short clip of William dad dancing. Yes, we did show it. Oh my goodness. They took a picture with Taylor. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, there was a lot of like question over. Sorry, I'm trying to look for that Dune picture video thing again. There's a lot of question over whether or not they would appear because it or were attending because it was like yes, and then it was like no, and then it was like yes again. And it looks like though it wasn't all the kids, just George and Charlotte. Christina says, good morning, everyone. Heidi says, morning, Brittany. Good morning, teacher. Ray Samantha says, hi, Brittany. Will love seeing the picture of George, Charlotte, and William, and Taylor Swift, and Kelsey, too. He got in there. Ritz says, these pictures are awesome, and the one with William dancing his heart out is adorable. Yes, it is. Chantal says, good morning from the Netherlands. It was so good this week seeing Kate in the lovely photos of the Wales families. Yes, it was. It was so great. Neely says, good morning, Brittany and Miss Pippa and everyone. Good morning. Jessica Reed says, good morning from Dane County, Wisconsin. Hope everyone is doing well. Lady Avier says, how precious. Becky says, I wonder if Taylor's picture will be called a fake. Who knows, right? But it does help, of course, that Taylor actually did post it to her official Twitter as well. So it's just, it can't be said as a fake because it was to her official Twitter because, you know, she was really excited to have the future kings of England in her crowd. Jennifer says, good morning from Alabama. Sabs says, hi, y'all. We got Bebop. Hello from San Francisco. We got Christina Perry. It's like spaghetti. Throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Good one for Meghan. Yes. Yes, that seems to be what she does. And again, that's sort of a terrible strategy in some ways. Because again, I think the people who tend to be most successful are the ones who have a vision of something. And Meghan has a vision for making money, I guess, but she has really no clue how to do it. She's just, again, throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. Sav says, I was waiting for the pic of the whales as a Taylor. This one is great. Yes, I actually even shared it last night. I was like, I really hope we get a picture just because it would just be nice, you know, and that would, you know, push the naysayers aside that, you know, they didn't go. Christine says, joining from Thailand, land of smiles. Yes. Although I would have loved to see a picture of Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia. Marjorie says, well, we know who Taylor Swift supports. Wonderful photo. Yes. Oh, yes, because Taylor could have gotten a picture with Meghan and posted it, but she decided not to. Raven 79, thank you so much for the tip. Meghan's image is astroturf, not authentic. Yes. There was just a kind of a famous obviously interview with Jennifer Aniston around the time of her whole bust up with the marriage to Brad Pitt and everything and the whole Angelina Jolie situation. And she basically said, you know, he had an empathy chip missing. I think Meghan's missing the authenticity chip. She's not authentic. She's terribly, terribly contrived. And in a world where authenticity is really becoming king, that really does matter. And so like she needs to figure out how to do that. If she can't do that, then she needs to think of something else. I mean, but she's so again so consumed, I think, with showing off the perfect image that she can't even conceive of how to be authentic because she thinks she's being authentic because she's working on trying to be authentic when authentic is just being yourself. But I don't think she particularly likes herself. Again, she always has struck me as a deeply, hugely insecure person. And so she's wildly insecure, but she masks this in this fake, contrived persona, which just doesn't come across well. Diva, thank you so much for the tip as well. There's a video of Prince Philip jumping off the dunes with a very young Charles and Anne. Yes. Yes, because that is something people do up there in the dunes. So, yeah. Christopher Bosey, you know, maybe actually you should try traveling to England. You might learn something. And I did hear a little cheap, guys. So hold on one second here. Oh, is that cheap? Is it cheap? Oh, okay. All right, guys, say hello to Miss Pippa this morning. Are you a good girl? She's a good girl. She's got to ask to come up in the office because she's been naughty sometimes. So we got to keep her there. Hi, baby girl. Do you see everybody? You want to say hi? Want to say hi? They're over there. Do you see them? Oh, good girl. Mwah. There we go. So she wanted to come up. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe she'll want to leave. But it says, Amel Ray's, she likes to sleep underneath my feet. I have blankets at my feet so she can sleep right there. We have Ocean and Cat. Imagine being so famous royalty is in the crowd to watch you. That would be pretty cool. Teacher Ray Samantha says Taylor Swift indeed supports the royal family, not self-proclaimed Royals in Montecito. Kiko says no one can call Taylor's photo is fake or doctored. No. Bebop says Meghan is a one note nobody. She kind of sort of is. She like even her lifestyle brand is like so predictable. It's like, oh, you just went back to doing the TIG, and she's not even making Tiganello. Like, why would you like? Her whole initial brand was, oh, you had the TIG moment, Tiganello. If she's gonna make wine, why not make Tiganello? It's just kind of weird. It's Tara Torili says, good morning. You look lovely. Thank you. Wondering why Princess Royal title for Princess Anne gave Charlotte is such a big deal. Didn't quite understand why this has an impact with Harry and Meghan in the line of succession. It doesn't. The Princess Royal is sort of and I can't remember how far it goes back. I think a couple of 100 years. It's kind of a courtesy title given to the firstborn daughter of the king or queen. And so when it comes to Princess Anne, when she passes that title, which is courtesy, you don't have to have it. Like the Prince and Princess of Wales title is technically of courtesy. Like the real thing that matters is being the Duke of Cornwall. The Prince and Princess of Wales is sort of an additional title that the monarch can bestow upon the Duke of Cornwall. And Meghan, the Prince and Princess of Wales. And so when it comes to the Princess Anne title, it's more of a courtesy, but it's just something that's really, really cool. And so in the future, of course, because Charlotte is the only daughter of the future king, she will be named the Princess Royal. Now, if Charles had a daughter and and Anne died before he did, he could bestow the title of the Princess Royal on his daughter, although he might say, well, since it's been so long or whatever, we can wait and give that to Charlotte. But only one person can hold the title at the time. And I imagine Anne will probably live probably as long as her mother. So it might be 30 plus years until Charlotte gets that title. So again, that, up to debate, or she could decide at some point, Princess Anne does, that, you know what, that William becomes king and she's like, I'm ready to relinquish this title and I am enthused to see a new Princess Royal. That could happen too. Water says, good morning from super hot Maryland. And Sav says the Buckingham Palace band played one of her songs yesterday. Definitely an alliance there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They played Shake It Off. Johnny says, good morning. Glad Prince William and his kids got to see Taylor. I wondered if you said Princess Williams because that's kind of technically Catherine's name. But Tanya says, good morning, Brittany and friends. We are in a heat wave here in the nation's capital. Hoo-wee. Yes. Yes. Christina Perry said, Harry and Meghan are both the embarrassment of their families. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, Meghan has no close relationships with her family. And honestly, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not on the Markle train. I don't really buy most of what the Markles are selling either. But I also think as well that the apple probably doesn't fall far from the tree. And so I think they're all kind of, yeah. So Margaret says, good afternoon, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and all the plates in Meghan's place smashing to the tune of Taylor's latest great photo of the real royal family at the concert. Yes. And Mel says balanced children having great moments on the dans, living their lives. Of course. Laner says, good morning from the north coast of California. Jason Lees. Prince Harry's probably hissing in the guest house until the has gone following that picture. Probably. I imagine Harry spends a lot of the time at a local hotel, according to the Telegraph. Because the other thing I think about Meghan is that I don't think she'll ever be happy. Don't think she's ever content or satisfied. She maybe has that for a moment, and then she's back to being, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. Harry, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Like, I can imagine that kind of being his life and that being not so pleasant. Water 8604 says the kids are growing up and looking so lovely. Yes, they are. Mary says, morning from very hot Kentucky. Laura says, good morning, Brittany. Beautiful pictures of the Waleses and Taylor Swift. 100%. Tanya says, I'm not a Swiftie, but it's nice to see Prince William and the kids having fun. 100%. I'm not a super huge Taylor Swift fan either. I'm just happy they're getting out and having a good time. I think that's great. And I says, good morning from Connecticut. Ocean and Kat. Remember, guys, Meghan stood up and danced to You Belong to Me wildly. Laner says, oh, what did you pick? Princess Charlotte looks thrilled. I'm sure she's going to be like, yay, I got to meet Taylor Swift. But I mean, her life is it would just be so interesting to see what the future holds for the Wales as kids in some ways, because their life is like, or not what their life holds, but what it's like to live like that. To kind of like, I'm sure they know, but it's like, when was the point that I really became aware to them how special they are? I would just love to chat with somebody, like, if there's a moment where it really sinks in that, wow, I'm I'm a princess and not everybody has that, because they do hang around with a lot of, the aristocratic set and stuff. So that's kind of par for the course, but you just gotta wonder. Elaine says, "What a fantastic photo in memory for William, George, Charlotte, and Taylor too." Yes, Debbie says, "Good morning, friends. Happy birthday, Prince William. Well done, Catherine." Marjorie says, "ARO is dead in the water." I think it kind of is. I think it kind of is. I just can't imagine. I don't quite know how exactly she's gonna pull all, like, I just don't foresee it selling well. I just don't. SEJ says, "I hope the Tindall kids got to meet her too." I'm sure they did. I would imagine they did. Bebop says, "Why would anybody hang out with the Montecito Maroons when they can hang out with two future kings of Great Britain?" Yes. De Love Lee says, "George and Charlotte are so adorable." They are. They are. Maputo says, "Good afternoon, Brittany from South Africa. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well." It's Mies says, "Hola, buenos dias" from Utah. And Christina Perry says, "Megan is turning more people from her camp and the Prince William camp." Yes, I just don't think Megan can bring in a lot of people. She's just not a great uniter. She's just not. And I think the Royals, again, you have to walk that very, very careful line between being approachable, being regal. Like, there's a careful line, and Megan can't walk that. She's too interested in having Hermes and Cartier and so many things that is just, she comes across as her lifestyle just seems very unattainable. So I don't know how she's going to portray an attainable lifestyle when everything she wears is outrageously expensive. So like, how are we, like, how are we mixing these two things? I don't understand. Becky says, "ARO, also known as American Ripoff." It's a me says, "That's an awesome picture." It is. We got Terry, hello from Dallas. We got Amel. Megan loves copying jam like King Charles, biscuits like Catherine's brother. Yeah, she's not an original thinker. She's really, really not. And I think that's why she was kind of crummy as an actress, because she's not really a creative. She doesn't really have that creative bone. It's just not of interest to her. And I think, again, she kind of shot her and Harry in the foot by trying to do this career in Hollywood when he nearly failed at art and had to apparently cheat, and she was never a great success as an actress to begin with. It's kind of just a dumb idea. Diana introduced HL says, "Diana introduced William to Cindy Crawford because he had a crush on her." Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. Okay, so we got P Two Pennies. Pens Nuts says, "Elton John did meet Prince William." And Linda says, "Good morning, Brittany. Good morning." Mitch says, "Good morning, Brittany. What is the buzz around the Sussex squad lately? Are they being investigated?" As far as I know, no, but there was a PR representative that Jack Royston talks to, and he's a Newsweek reporter. He does the royal beat. He's pretty pro Harry and Meghan. And he said, which is, I think, is true, is that the Sussex squad is a liability for Harry and Meghan. And they are. And granted, there's a lot of things that sometimes happen on the royal side that I wish didn't, how some people make fun of Meghan and stuff. I don't agree with that. But I'm the type of person too. It's like, well, it is free speech. You have the right to do it. I don't think it looks great, but I can't really I can't really force you to not do it. But Harry and Meghan do want to force people to stop doing it. And the bad thing is with the Sussex squad is, I mean, some of it just comes across as worshipful. Like, literally somebody compared Meghan Markle to Jesus Christ, and, like, seriously, Jesus Christ. And I was like, no. Don't even think that woman goes to church. Not even sure could walk through the sanctuary necessarily. I mean, she could, of course, but she's she never struck me as particularly religious. She changes her religion based on who she's dating, which again shows to me a lack of conviction. If you are convicted of the faith you follow, and then you should follow that regardless. It's kind of like true, like she's supposedly converted to Judaism for her, like she started out Catholic, converted to Judaism for her first husband, converted to the Church of England for her second husband. And so it's like, well, did you ever convert to Judaism? Did you even care, or was it just about the marriage? And that's just not something I appreciate, but I don't think necessarily, I mean, I think some people are trying to investigate into them, but I just think they're just a huge liability for Harry and Meghan because they're kind of unhinged. They sound a little deluded. And at the end of the day, too, what I think and what comes across to me is that Harry and Meghan, if they get divorced, and when they get divorced, I should say, I think they will divorce, is that the Sussex squad will all go to with Meghan because they don't care one iota about Harry. They really don't care about that guy whatsoever. It is about Meghan, and their worship of her is essentially based around her skin color. That's seemingly all they care about is her skin color. They don't really care anything else about Meghan Markle. It's all about her skin color. And so because of that, I think that as soon as they divorce or whatever, they'll all immediately drop him and turn on him. That's the thing too. For Harry's sake, he should be deeply worried because they all worship her. They don't really worship him. They worship him as an extension of her. They call it how great he is because he is married to her. Once all that goes away, they'll turn on him in a flash, and he will become public enemy number one. They might even go after him worse than anybody else related to the royal family because, oh, he had the audacity to leave Meghan Markle, not fight for their relationship or whatever. And again, too, if they break up, then their whole narrative of them having the best love story in the entire world sort of hits the skids pretty badly. And yeah, so we shall see. Ocean Gal says, what is the Princess Royal title has it shifted to Charlotte? It will not shift to Charlotte until her father becomes king and after Princess Anne dies, unless Princess Anne, I don't know if this is how it works, but obviously things are so different than they were compared to, like, the queen became queen so young, her children were so young, they were afforded their titles so young and everything. So I don't know quite how this will work with Charlotte, but I think it might be possible too that Anne decides to give up the title of Princess Royal and gives it to Anne. I think Anne can be somebody who does that because I don't think sometimes she doesn't strike me as somebody who's all that concerned with titles in some ways. Like she respects them very much, but yeah. Neely says, hi guys, I'm from South Africa. Hello. SEJ says, look at Charlotte's cute concert hair. Love it. Let's go find it again. And so here we go. There we go. Okay. It's just funner to see them than it is to see me. Water says, I'm so glad that Prince William has the Tindalls. Mike is a great, good brother to William, and I'm glad the Tindalls are giving the Wales the support Harry was supposed to. Yes. Leaner says, I love that the RF are blasting the news with pics of the kids. Yeah. Yeah. Isa Texas says, good morning, everyone from Houston, Texas. Insanely hot and muggy here. I hope you're doing well. Emil Reyes says, greetings from Munich. And we have Brandy. Good morning, everyone. Becky says, Princess Royal title is for life. It is. I just don't know if Princess Anne can decide, well, Prince William is now king. I'm ready to kind of sort of retire. So Savannah says, hello, did you see a picture of William and the kids with Taylor Swift? Yes, we did. Sherry says, good morning from Newfoundland, Canada. We got Brenda. Good morning, Brittany and friends from St. Paul's, Minnesota. Did anyone notice there is no branding on ARO? Let's see if I can't see. There's an extra bit there. But yeah, there's no branding. Oh, I'm not sure. But yeah, when it comes to ARO, the branding is terrible. Still stand strongly by that. I love I love Charlotte's smile, and George is so cute. Yes, she's kind of at that age too, where she's still kind of growing into her adult teeth. You can tell, I feel like. Sabrina says, and Prince Louis had his mummy just for himself. I bet he had a fantastic night as well. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he enjoyed lots of mummy time because I think he's definitely a mummy's boy. JPL said, good morning from California. Please don't hold it against me, LOL. I love seeing Prince William and his broad enjoying some time together, laughing. I think that's marvelous. I think that's marvelous and great. Minnie said, good afternoon from humid UK. SCJ says, morning from Michigan. Stacy, the below average turtle. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hope your Saturday is going well. And we got Tracy from Wales. Hello. Christina says, I saw that video. Yes. Yes. Asaf says, I agree. Prince William's found support for him and his family in the Tindalls. It's great that they can grow up together. Yes. And I think they were already close, but obviously the disaster with Harry brought them closer. Isa Texas says, I'm glad I don't have Meghan's nerve in my tooth. I wish Harry would react for once. Yes. Yes. But he's been I would imagine, pretty browbeaten. It's like they live such an isolated existence too, I think, in some ways. I think they spend probably a lot of time at their house. I think Harry's like, doesn't really have any friends. All his friends are her friends. All her friends are connections. She's already trying to make inroads in Hollywood. I was watching a video of a different channel, somebody talking about how when it comes to like Hollywood, all their friends are business connections, networking. They're not really friends. And he said as well that, people will go into a meeting or whatever and they'll tell, if they're a writer or an actor or whatever, they'll tell whoever the person in charge is, I'll be whoever you need me to be. So that's the Meghan crowd that Harry's now all connected with and everything, which I don't think is particularly great. Shaz says, saw that video. Wow, Harry's face was a peach because once again, she pushed Harry to the back. Yes, because I think and I mentioned this in my video and I'm probably previewing it too much, but it's like, how did Meghan not realize that she married the person who would always be more important in the relationship than she would be? Because he's the prince. Apparently that never occurred to her at any point. Sab says the one's wife does act like a 6-year-old. It's embarrassing. It does. Ritz says the Duke S of ignorance. Yeah. Abula's lifestyle says good morning, all. Margaret says I think she's almost 44. I think she's 43 because she's technically only a year older than Catherine and William. And her birthday's in August. And so Catherine and William are both 42. I think she's 42 right now, and she'll turn 43 in August. Raven C says, I love Charlotte's smile, and George is so cute. Great smile. Yes. I wonder if he has a crush on Taylor. Christina says here, neighbors hate her. I'm sure they do. Because it's like, she's bringing so much attention. They're like, oh, our place used to be so quiet. Jennifer said, the children are so darling. They are. Bella Raindrop says she looks near 50. I don't really want to speculate too much on the age. I just don't find that to be very productive. Josephina says, wait, I'm late, huh? We did start on time today. SCJ says, her sting face in the bean necklace video makes me, that was a super awkward video, super awkward exchange. Shaz says, Brittany, did you see Jack Royston video and his article shouting out that Sussex SWAT are dangerous? Yes, I did. I was going to do an article. I probably still will, but yeah, they are not going to be helpful to Harry and Meghan. I did something longer on that earlier, but I think they're a huge, huge risk. JPL says, I'm so embarrassed for her. It's horrible what they are doing. Yes. Esther says, good morning from Abilene, Texas. Hello. Laner says, any info on the rumor the Duchess of Dog Biscuits is preggers? I haven't really heard that. And I think I've seen other videos. I think Taz has done one on it. I haven't been looking for that too much. If she does, it's definitely the desperation scream. It's the screams of desperation if she gets pregnant again. And I don't think she's particularly all that motherly to her first 2 children. I can't imagine that would change with the third. But I think it's a cry of trying to keep the marriage together, relationship together, the brand together, is to have another child. I don't think she would do that. And not to mention the fact it would totally break Harry's promise that they would only have 2 children because of climate change. If he did, and then they're like massive hypocrites. I mean, they are already, but again, they would be more so. Because let's say she's in her early 40s now, like her getting pregnant naturally, well, it's a bit rare. Jennifer says, lying about her age, which might be the wedding certificate illegal. I don't know about that, but yeah, she definitely could. I mean, a lot of actors lie about their age in Hollywood. Rich says, massive ego on her is insane. Yes. Neely says, my cat Kelly says, good morning to Miss Pippa. Miss Pippa says hello from the blankies underneath my feet. Because she loves the Ugg blankets. Truth Watcher says, good morning. Happy Saturday from Super Hot NYC. We got Ocean Cat. Charles always dressed perfectly with Princess Catherine, the most well-dressed woman in the world. Absolutely rubs off on Charlotte. Yes, and I'm sure Catherine helps with that quite a bit. Eleanor says, good morning from Georgia. You have Jennifer with eyes wide open. Christina says, Princess Catherine is real. That's the difference. Yes. Godzilla Man Strep. Good morning from breezy Chicago. Yeah, and I will say as well, one of the things, especially when I'm looking for pictures, guys, I get my own pictures for my thumbnails. I find that they help a lot because I find different pictures that haven't been circulating through the mainstream media quite as much. So I try to do that. But what I find really interesting too is that it's really difficult to find a picture of Meghan not smiling because she's almost always smiling, the same grin all the time. And yes, you smile quite a bit. But what I like about Catherine is that her expression changes. Meghan's just doesn't seem to change that much. And to me, that strikes as being inauthentic in a mask because your expression should change a bit more than it does. You should have a resting face, a smiling face, a concentrate, Meghan doesn't have those as much. She's smiling like this all the time, all the time. No matter what is happening, she's always smiling. And so, yeah. Anna Melian says, "Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit late. No worries." Desiree says their kids' play clothing is very affordable. Yes, which it should be. You shouldn't have super expensive clothes. I would imagine. I mean, I think they have some expensive clothes, but I would imagine Meghan may have dipped into the Louis Vuitton collection for her kids. Because Louis Vuitton has a baby collection. There's actually it was a really cute jacket. I don't think they sell anymore. Really cute jacket. I was like, "Oh man, if I had a kid, I'd so buy that jacket," even though it's like outrageously expensive. They can never I wouldn't buy the jacket because I couldn't afford it, but still. Bebop says, "Who's gonna purchase anything from ARO? Not the squad because they don't have the money." Yeah, I don't know who's gonna buy from her stuff. I don't know how, like, and again, I just think the idea behind the brand is not even just the stuff. It's just like the notion somebody who's so like who lives such an exclusive lifestyle is somehow going to make things affordable for you, things that she personally would not wear. I think strikes as massively inauthentic. Tar Targeri Targaryen giraffe says it's because Markle is new money and it shows. Yes. Christina says Gwyneth can afford her luxury. Yeah. And Gwyneth, and I think again, makes herself not totally accessible, but I think the thing with Goop is that she's not trying to make it like it's somewhat accessible for people, but she's like trying to make it exclusive. And so it kind of sort of works. And she's created a lifestyle behind it, which I don't think it's very good. Kim Marie says, and thank you so much for the tip. Hi, Brittany. Do you think Harry and Meghan are possibly the source of Royston's squatty article? I don't think so. That could be interesting. It's a PR guy who mentioned it. I've seen him be interviewed and stuff before. But I think the danger for the Sussex squad, of course, is that they there's just how do you describe it? They're just an unpleasant bunch. And again, at the end of the day, I don't think they're helping Harry and Meghan that much. I don't think they are because, the squad is just a little bit aggressive, a little bit kind of wild, and I just don't think that appeals to everyone. So I just think it's kind of a risk. But I don't know if Harry and Meghan want to distance themselves from them, which they could because again, their whole thing is about internet safety, like one of their big pillars, and they need to kind of sort of separate themselves from them. Becky says George has passed on his shirts to Louis. Yes. Water says, I love the pictures of Prince William with the kids. Yes, it's so cute. Red says, too busy posing and pruning to be thrifty. She needs to do a Target run and unboxing for us. Yes. Again, Meghan, if she wants to be affordable, she needs to actually be affordable. Laura says Meghan is very nouveau riche. Yes, she screams that. Lucy says, "Did you hear YSL won't allow to use anything because she's a thief?" No, I don't think that's the case. She did wear some YSL shoes recently, and I did actually like them. But I could see them as well being like, "Well, we don't really want you associated with our brand." That could be more of the case there. But yeah, like they want to sell things and they want although YSL I guess is like decreasing the price of their products because they inflated them too much. And so it's kind of interesting. And there's this whole case too, I guess, where and I'm so glad I never bought one of these. The Christian Dior book bags are apparently only made for like $58 and they sell them for like 2,500, which is insane. That is insanity. And so there's like, maybe 500 selling it for that much because you do need a markup in order to really make costs, but that just seems like stealing it to me. So we'll see. Lady Aviator, thank you so much for the tip. Your channel is fantastic. You do your research, keep it classy and professional despite your feelings on Harry and Meghan. Can't say that about other channels. Thank you so much, Lady Aviator. I really, really try to do that. I try not to go down like the gossip routes and everything. That's why when somebody first mentioned the video, I was like, nah, I don't always like going down those routes because sometimes there's sort of red herrings or something like that. But this video, guys, if you haven't seen it, again, video on it coming very, very soon today. It's pretty egregious, to be quite honest. It's like really, really egregious. It's really, really bad. And I think, again, to me, what it kind of highlights again is, and because I always like to talk about kind of deeper issues going on behind the scenes and stuff. is that Meghan has no respect for Harry. She has zero respect for her husband. I don't even know if she particularly even likes him. He was a means to an end, and he worshiped the ground she walked on, and that's what she needed. And I just find that incredibly sad. And so thank you so much. I'm so glad people appreciate that because I know it's hard, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Lady Aviator Val says, just what I needed this morning because I saw your correction there. So, and we have Ocean Gal, do a separate video on Meghan's fashion, please. I do have a couple of them on Real Fashion News. If you guys head over there, just Real Fashion News, you'll see the same logo that I have for this channel, but in burgundy. And so I have done, I wanted to do a video on the Duchess of Beige, and I still probably need to go back and do that because she is, not only is she beige, she's beige. She wears beige a lot. And so I will do a video on that at some point. But yes, I'm not a fan of the vast majority of Meghan's fashion. I think it looks bad, but her shoe game is pretty on point, I will have to say. Brenda says, good morning, Brittany and friends from St. Paul, Minnesota. Did you notice there was no brand label on the dog biscuit jar? Is that her attention to detail showing through again? Okay, that's what you meant by brand. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's again, what it screams, and I think I did a video on this. Yeah, kind of railing against this, but it's like, it screams like, so I'm a crafty person. So I've made something for a friend. So I give it to the friend and have the friend post it online. Like that's what this whole brand feels like right now. Is Meghan Markle's personal side crafting project. That's not what this should be. This is a brand. I don't understand. So yeah. Christina says, I love the video of the band outside Kensington Palace. Also William dancing. Yes. RCV says, Taylor, what did you do to Mexit's handwritten invitation? Yes, and Meghan also asked Taylor to be on her podcast. Taylor's like, no. Which so glad she did. That podcast is terrible. I'm still confused. Is she doing a second season of Archetypes on Lemonada? It's kind of confusing. But Archetypes was awful. It's like nails on a chalkboard bad. And again, like I said, you can feel written down on a page somewhere. Take a breathy pause. Linger on this word. Like laugh. Yeah. Like you can feel it. You can feel it when you listen to it. It's like hard to describe it. You can just like, she's so contrived. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Rich says His Royal Highness getting down. Yeah. JPL says people are people. Yes, they are. Janet says her to Meghan was going to sell baby food. Well, I mean, she's trademarking everything, but she doesn't even have the trademark yet. Can't really go without the trademark. Stephanie says the Prince and Princess of Wales just uploaded a charming video of trimming 2024 on the YouTube channel, a longer version of the one they put on Instagram. Some of you might have a look. Well, thank you. I will take a look. Stacy says, get well, Catherine P. We have Kiko. Hi from Japan. Hello. Bebop says, I used to live in a very exclusive neighborhood on the West Coast. A Goop store opened and should have been very successful given the demographics closed in 12 months. Apparently, nobody purchased the brand. Yes, and apparently Meghan's going for a brick and mortar store at some point, which is dumb. Brick and mortar stores are a dying breed. I was in Best Buy last week, and I actually do need to film a video and test this because, well, I got a open box camera, but the first one I got, I filmed my travel video with it, and then it like started overheating and was like dying, and I was like, well, I can't use this if it's going to overheat and die constantly. And so I returned it, and they had another camera. This one actually did come with a lens. It was open box, actually a former display model. And I was in there on a Saturday afternoon, and there was nobody in there. There was nobody in this Best Buy. This is the biggest, busy shopping area and everything. There was nobody in the Best Buy. And so I'm like, it's kind of shocking because like, wow, retail really is dead. I personally like retail because I go and I find better deals on like, these kind of clothes and stuff like that. I found great stuff in stores. There's actually a denim jacket that I wore in a video recently. It's actually from Veronica Beard, which is the kind of a favorite brand of Princess Madeline. I got it for a fantastic deal from Nordstrom Rack. And I love this denim jacket. I should have gotten it for less off, but I was like, I can't even find it anywhere online. It zips up, which is really cool. It kind of has this peplum fit. So it kind of flares out a bit on the bottom and then is kind of tighter up top. So it's like, I love it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I wouldn't have found it online, just in the store. So you can get things oftentimes cheaper in store than you can online. Depends on the situation. But yeah, I just don't think a brick and mortar store is a smart way to go at all. Like that would be what what I would have suggested Meghan do, depending on how she wanted to sell her brand, is Either open a store or have a small collection of American Riviera Orchard products for sale in a store local in Montecito, maybe a couple around California. See how things sell and how the public reacts to them. Then do a big launch. Don't even tell anybody you're attached to it. Just do something small and then do a bigger launch later. So Megan just, I don't know. I just don't think, goodness gracious, is me. Rosé wine. Yes, Megan, it's popular and I'm sure you drink it. But your label is American Riviera Orchard. And the first thing you're doing is giving something out that's on a vineyard. Do you not understand the difference between an orchard and a vineyard? It's like so hard because it's like you're just like, and I mean, her name even isn't that interesting. She copied it from the city she lives in. She stole the name from Santa Barbara. There was a bank name, American Riviera Orchard Bank. How many times has she driven by that bank? And is that where she got the idea? Like, it's a stupid brand name. It's such a stupid name. Oh my gosh. Okay. I could rail against that brand all day from just a brand business perspective. Jan says, or Jan, I'm just getting over pneumonia. Oh, a lot of nasty stuff going around. Well, I hope you feel better. Gloria says, hi from Phoenix. Yesterday was 115. This sounds hellish a bit. Lizzie B says, I'd like a fashion video from you were advising what kind of clothes someone with Megan's body type would wear. So I don't know if I'm the best person for that because I would love to do that, but I honestly really don't know. I'm not that. What I'm good at is kind of sort of dressing myself and kind of knowing what sort of would look good on just about everyone. But Megan's body type is really kind of tricky. I kind of have more somewhat, it depends on how much weight I have between kind of an hourglass and a pear shaped. So I have my shoulders are kind of narrowish. She actually has pretty broad shoulders. Her back is really broad too. And so she just kind of has a tricky, funky frame. And I just don't know if I'm great at advising on how to dress that. Because I was looking at something to purchase recently and I was going to do like the blazer in a much smaller size than the pants. I'm like, oh, this is so weird. But that would probably be actually what would work the best because just like my body type is a little tricky sometimes, but I could, adjust the pants or whatever as needed. But I like to have a tighter fit with any like blazers I wear. But I don't really know. I don't feel like I would be comfortable enough to actually and have enough knowledge to really share and be accurate with it, if that makes sense. Lily says, good afternoon from Melbourne, Australia. It's currently 12:15 a.m. So happy to have made a live stream. Love your channel and commentary. Why, thank you. Thank you, Lily. Kiko says, hi from Japan. Our emperor and empress are visiting the UK very soon. Yes. And I have, again, a video on the tiaras, which I didn't know too much about the history of tiaras in Japan, but they have a couple cool ones. I'm hoping for the Meiji one with the stars on top or the chrysanthemum tiara, but I will be sharing more videos and pictures of those here in a little bit on Royal Fashion News. Judith says, hi all from my two favorites combined, the RF and Taylor Swift. Yes. Sorry, guys, need a little bit of a drink there. Throat getting a little parched. Okay, so Knitter says 1960. I'm from Ohio, so happy to have made a live broadcast. It is too hot to do anything. Watching you and knitting. Yes, it is too hot to do anything, guys. That's why I'll be probably working today. I'll be like, well, I can just work. I get out tomorrow because I'll probably go to the gym, guys. I've been really good. I've actually, guys, I don't think I've told you guys, but I've been working with a personal trainer, dude. And so that has been a lot of fun. And so we did the intake thing and I need to lose a bit more weight, but he said your muscle mass is growing. So I'm like, yeah. And I'm strong. I actually did a deadlift of 140 pounds. Yeah. So that has been a lot of fun. And so that the only place I might go tonight is the gym, and that'll be later in the day. But it's too hot to do anything. So it's like, I'm like, you know what? Great time to do a little bit of work and get some things done. Because there's something I have laid in the box and have been wanting to try on. And you guys will have to guess which princess before we start the video I am replicating, says. All right. Betsy says, hello from Michigan. Anna Malian says they are an exclusive area. This way there are a few pictures, but at least they are personal pictures with Taylor and Travis. Migraine must be green with jealousy. Yes. Yeah. So they were definitely, there was, I'm sure, a lot of security because it's a huge stadium, packed, higher security risk. So I'm sure they were they got to greet Taylor before everything started. They got kind of a private escort to their suite, like so many things. And so there aren't a lot of pictures, which I mean, I do find a little sad, but I think that's great too. Denise says, "Good morning, Brittany. Good morning." Rich says, "The lying with both of them is seriously disturbing. They just don't care," which is beyond sad. Yeah. Stacy says, their apathy will spread to their kids. Yes. Order says, of course, Mimi would take gifts for Harry for herself. Harry is her accessory, not a husband. She doesn't care and she hates it when he gets any attention away from her. Yeah. And again, it's so dumb. Why did you marry a prince who is always going to be more important than you? I think that would be kind of Captain Obvious. Shaz says, she blocked him and he stood there like a pleb and stroked her arm. Like, what the heck? Yes. Bebop says, in a successful marriage, both partners support each other when there's an interest and social function or not. Yeah, we saw this a great example of it with William with Catherine in Jamaica. They went to an young childhood education event. And this is obviously Catherine's thing. And he was like, he's there, but he's like, no, talk to Catherine. This is her thing. And so he's like, I don't really know anything. So I just appreciated that because it's like, yes, you can't have two things where somebody has a greater interest than others, and they should take a little bit of a precedence. And I think good marriages can handle that dynamic. Meghan cannot. Especially when there's gifts involved. She wants all the gifts. Karen said, please hit the like button. Why, thank you. I don't know. I can't really hit the like button for where I am because I'm using a different software actually to do the live stream because I can do these kind of fun things. Josephina says, I love thunderstorms too. They're awesome. Carmen says, finally made it. Good morning from Colorado Springs. Good morning. Christina says, it's going to be hot here today. 100. I'm in Maryland and we haven't had any rain for a while and won't. It scares me. I have to mow the lawn too. I'll probably do it maybe tonight after I get back from the gym or something because it sounds scary. Well, I had to get gas for it. And if you want to hear a stupid story, so I went to the gas station. I went up to the pump and I had to get ethanol-free gas. My dad told me where to get that. And so I got a gas can and I went to the gas station and it says ethanol-free. And so I put my card in and then I kept trying to hit the ethanol-free gas thing and it wasn't going and I couldn't figure out why. And so it's like, well, maybe it's empty. I'll go to the next one. It was then that I realized that there are two pumps, one for the regular 3 other gases and one for the ethanol-free one. Yeah, it's a little bit of a dummy bit on my part. Boots and Gypsy says, I wonder if any of the parents actually listen to the lyrics of Taylor's songs. Not a fan, sorry. Don't get the support. I used to love her, but she's changed enough for the best. I mean, I will have to say I'm not a huge fan of Taylor, but I can understand, like, for kids, like, she has catchy tunes and stuff, so I get it. Crystal says, who was the other man in the first Swift photo you showed? So that is Trevor. No, what is it called? What is his name? I don't really know his name, but this is Taylor's boyfriend. That's Taylor's boyfriend. He's an NFL football player for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that is Kelsey Travis or Travis Kelsey? Travis Kelsey, I believe. So Christina Perry said, today is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Christina. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great, great day. Josephina says, good morning. Glad to be here after 14-hour days. I've been working. Whew, that sounds like a lot. Claudia said, good. They got a lot of love after all the bullying and negativity. Yes. Oh, yes. Water says, where am I at the heat wave warming? Even the pool is closed. Oh, that stings. Yeah. Our neighborhood pool here, I mean, you had to pay a boatload to join, which is really, really annoying. But like they weren't like for the amount of money I would have to pay, I would want this thing open 5 days a week for as long as humanly possible. And I feel like it's not open on the weekdays when I walk by and I'm like, I find that really, really obnoxious because like it's 1,000,001 degrees. It's like this should be open all the time. Farah, Shaz, there's a follow pic showing him standing where she was initially standing. Can't never let him be about him. No. Let's be about her. Travis in the photo. Yes. Laura says Taylor Swift did not have the foresight to go on Meghan Markle's podcast. Really smart move. Stephanie says, I'm not a Taylor fan, but I'm a fan of the Wales' family having fun. Yes. Applause there. Yes. Oh, yes. Huge. Basha says, good morning from Trinidad and Tobago. Aw, thank you. That's quite a far away. Audra says, Crystal, that was Travis Kelsey on the Kansas City Chiefs team, a.k.a. Taylor's boyfriend. Yes, he's following her around. Ritz says, Tindall is a riot. He is. Oh, my goodness. Notice how Harry and Meghan didn't do anything for Father's Day. Sad. Yeah. Truth Walker says, I'm not even going to the pool. Super hot in NY. Staying here with all of you. Pride person, flower, non-binary. Pride person, flower, non-binary. Pride person, flower, non-binary. Yeah, it's golly, it's so hot, guys. Oh, Shaz says, I know what you mean, but it seems Meghan thinks she's the one people come to see, and that's not the case. She made Nigeria all about her. Yeah, and it's supposed to be about technically the Invictus Games. No, going to Nigeria. It's crazy. Christina says, Margaret Morris, thank you. Kathy says, good morning, everyone. It seems like William and the kids had fun last night for his birthday. Wonderful. Yes. Ocean Cat says, Meghan never loved Harry. His small brain kept him from seeing that their divorce will be one for the aces. Divorcing Meghan Markle will be hell. Literal hell. It might be. Oh, hashtag 3 says, I'm in South Africa. It's supposed to be winter, but I'm walking around in a very light t-shirt. Everyone is asking if I am not cold, but it's nice, sunny winter's day. I kind of wish it was colder. I do have a car though that I have one of those CAC buttons, so it blows cold air up your tushy, and that does work. That yes, it's well needed in some days. Oliver says, remember when she asked Taylor to be on her podcast with a handwritten note, and Taylor had her assistant say no. Caitlin says, good morning from Dallas. Only 99 degrees here today. Woo! Angie says Megan's going to roll out the kids' blurry photos soon. I think we might get something for Harry's 40th birthday. That's kind of sort of what I'm thinking, which is in September. Liz says, do you know if Princess Leonor and Infanta Sophia got a picture with Taylor? We do not know. We do not know, but we might even see more royals show up because we got Denmark, we got the Netherlands, we've got Sweden, possibly. Norway, royals with young ladies, Belgium. So maybe we shall see more. But I think Taylor's already been in Sweden, so I don't know. Kathleen says, hi from Gainesville, Florida, where the heat index is 107 today. Oh, that seems scary. Gemstone Girl says, the Royal Rogue posted about the picture with Charles and Anne jumping in the sand. Anya Chris Mel says, yee, it's been a while since I've been able to make it live. Hello, everyone from rainy Mexico. Well, thank you. Yeah, and the picture, I've seen a video. So I guess there were pictures, but I've also seen a video. Ocean says 95 degrees here. Oliver says Bosie doesn't go to the beach and he has no idea how the beach is. Well, I think especially, there's different compositions of beaches because I've lived in different places and the beaches have had different compositions. One was really rocky, another one was really sandy. And so the dunes in Norfolk are something I don't think necessarily maybe we have more in the Northeast, which is where he lives. So I don't know, but it's just something we might not have here, but it's just again showing the ignorance that he has. Jan says, I think the Royal Grift has the video. Kiki says, yes. And I saw it on Twitter first. Kiki says, good afternoon, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and all the RNN family from me in sunny Manchester, UK. Stacy says, I think despite their attitudes can be abrasive, Steph, the altar nerd, showed some old footage of young Charles and Anne when they were blonde and they were jumping off the dune sands and landing safely. Yes, Neely says, Brittany, you look terrific in orange. Why, thank you. I just thought I would bust this out today because it's like sometimes I just gotta look more professional. But the challenging thing is I'm not sure how the tie goes because I tried it different ways and I was still not sure exactly how it works. So I'll have to still work on that. Claudia says they have a private life. They do. Shaz says Prince Philip was there in the video and Charles and Anne too. Melian says, was Bosie saying their Father's Day photo or the Taylor Swift photo was fake? I think the Father's Day photo, which you could kind of almost see, but it's one of those things sometimes where, depending, I think, on the situation where the photograph is taken, it can almost have this effect where it looks fake, even though it's real. And so I think that was maybe because it was such a sunshiny day and everything, you could see that. But it was totally obvious what they did. They did a picture from behind, and then William was like, hey, Catherine, go down there. We're going to jump off this dune. Come on, kids. And they did it. So Sap says, Bosie is lazy and clueless, very ignorant about British customs and RF. Yes, he comes from the school of Meghan Markle, which doesn't really understand how the British work. I will say, I'm not perfect or anything, but I've spent enough time in the UK and I've lived in enough different places where I kind of understand. And I'm just somebody too who's just a general observer and I just absorb information. And so I it's just something where I analyze things constantly. I'm like, oh, they do this differently, that differently. And I've traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot since I was a kid. Went to Europe for the first time when I was, I think, 15. So you just tend to learn a lot. And I just don't, he doesn't have the experience. And it really, really shows quite badly. Marcia says, those are genuine smiles in the photo, not a rictus grin you see on Megan's face. Yes, oh yes, thank you so much for the tip as well. The kids look just so great and just so happy. They're just so cute. They're just so cute. And you can just tell Charlotte looks a lot like her daddy. A lot like her daddy there, which is, I think, just so sweet. So I look forward again to seeing her continue to grow up. And Prince George too. And I hope he handles all the love that's going to come his way because he's going to be the most eligible bachelor on the planet. We have Anna Chris Mel. Hello, Royal Watchers from sunny Mexico. Brittany, you are the best. Why, thank you. I thank you. Alicia says Bosie says what Meghan pays him to say, just like everyone in their life. Yeah, and it's not it's not he's not exactly the person that or she's not exactly the person I would just throw my weight behind personally. Seba says there's a video of Prince William jumping off the dunes with Charles and Anne. Yes. Kelly says, good morning from Lexington, Kentucky. It is hot in here. Yes. Mish Mane says, he gives some kisses from France, where it is currently 27 degrees Celsius. So I'm sure that's pretty warm. Janie says, hi, you look good. So good in orange. I'm in Lawrenceville, Georgia today. So hot and dry. Yes. We got Tracelyn George, 21 Celsius here in Nova Scotia, a break from the 37 Celsius, which includes humidity of the past couple of days. That is pretty hot for Nova Scotia, I would imagine. Most people might not even have AC. Water said, I heard that Bosie tried to say Prince William pictures and the kids jumping were fake as well. Not surprised, but yeah. And he like the picture of Catherine, he like did all these, oh, look, here's fake, fake, fake. It's like, you know what? Sometimes your eyes can play tricks on you and you're looking for something so hard that you're imagining things. I really tried to be like very careful with how I analyze things for Harry and Meghan even and stuff like that. And I honestly don't look for photoshopping in pictures, mostly because I think every picture to some extent is photoshopped, be quite honest, and so much easier to look at things that way. So, and I was thinking something else too. Now I've forgotten. It's probably not that important. Brenda, it is a great picture. It is. Hello, everyone is in the translation. Hello, Celeste says it was said that the Princess of Asturias and Infanta Sofia were supposed to attend. What they did, they looked like Swifties, a good evening and a bit of good night from Manila. Yes, and I think would be good because they've had a busy week. So I think it would be nice break. Gloria says, good morning, everyone. Greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's winter here and I just love it. And I'm a little bit jealous. But here's the thing is, I like warm weather. I don't necessarily like super cold weather. And I have all these great coats I want to wear, but I also don't really want to live in the cold. But I kind of wish it was cold right now or colder. It's just the answer is, guys, I can never be happy, apparently. Angie says, Meghan is going to roll out the kids in blurry pictures. Yeah. Bonjour from Montreal. Bonjour de Montreal. So good morning. Good morning, Val. And we have Cynthia. Good morning, everyone. That's why Sophie said. Catherine said, tout le monde means everybody. So good morning. Everyone is in the translation. Awesome. Thank you. Shaz says, he said that the Father's Day and birthday pictures were fake. I don't think he said anything about Taylor yet. Oh, goodness. Nish and Nenma says, did you see the tribute to Prince William during Taylor Swift concert? I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it. Apparently she wished him a happy birthday, which was very sweet. Oliver says Bosie is mad and he looks like an angry potato. Claudia says lots of royal events in June. Yes. Peggy says, I live in Michigan. There we have many, many sand dunes and it's a thing to jump off of them. Yes. I just couldn't think of where else, it's like, there's just things where it's like, if I haven't personally experienced it, it's like in a different country or whatever. Generally, I try not to be specific on things just because I don't know, but apparently. Sugar Cookie says, hi, everyone. Just got my notification. I'm so sorry. And Amalian says, thanks, Shaz. I don't purposely don't pay attention to Bosie. There's unfortunately for me, and it's like, it would be nice to hire an assistant or have somebody do this for me. Sometimes I monitored some specific channels just to see what they're doing and if I need to say something. Kelvin says, how are Meghan and Harry not royal when Harry is the prince of the realm and his father is king? Well, I mean, he's royal, but they're sort of cosplay royals because they're not really working royals anymore, which diminishes their royalness 100%. Gracie says, not a Swiftie, but I think the picture of George, Charles, and Louis shows their humility because they look starstruck. They do. They do. It's so, so sweet. Jenny Walsh, thank you so much for the tip. Great live today, Brittany. Thanks for keeping it upbeat and positive. Great live today, Brittany. And I love thunderstorms too, but my 3 fur babies are terrified. How does Miss Pippa do? That is a great question. Thank you so much, Jenny. And so I think I said Jenny. Gianni? Okay, I just wanted to try to make sure I got it right. And Miss Pippa actually does pretty well. It doesn't bother her too much. Now, if there's a big clap of thunder, she'll kind of get up and look at it and go, woof, woof. What is that? But she generally doesn't get super scared or anything. My sister's dog, though, and they're the same breed. They actually share the same father. She tends to get really scared. So Miss Pippa is a pretty brave little bean. She it doesn't bother her too much. She just might bark at the thunder because she's like, what is that? I don't like that sound. I don't know what that sound is. So she is a sweet, but she's like a little brave teapot, I guess you could call her. I'm trying to see if I can feel for her under my feet and give her a little pet. Oh, there she is. She's over there. Never mind. She's too far away. She's like, oh, you're moving your feet. That's scary. She's like, she can hear us talking about her. So she has to come and say hi. Gonna hang out right here, Miss Pippa. All right, we have a Per Majesty the Queen says, can you convert the Strathbury on your Royal Fashion News sale video? I've been looking and would have loved to see your royal recommendation. I'm going to say recommendations, but it could be like not reflections, recreations. There we go. So yeah, I do have. Yes, I can convert it. So I'll look into doing that. So I've had it for a little bit. It was a style that was sort of on the way out. So I don't really have it. So you can't buy that specific one, but it is just super cute and I do like it. I just haven't had a ton of times to wear a clutch. I will sometimes not really totally, but kind of sort of wish I was royal because then I'd have more reasons to use all the things I've gotten from royal collections because I'm like, oh, I want to wear this and I just don't get to. And it's like crazy. But I love all the new royal stuff. And there's Miss Pippa. Oh, baby girl. Hi. Oh, right up the nose. Thank you. Thank you for that. She likes helping guys. She's a great helper, isn't she? She's just such a great helper. Yeah, the thunder don't bother her too much. She's like, I'm a brave little beans. Yeah, you're brave, aren't you? All right. So we got Anya. Thank you so much for the tip. What resonates with us is your ethical and your delivery. We appreciate that. Keep up the great work. Why, thank you so much. I really try to. One of the things I've been thinking about it this week, and I'll probably do a video on it. And it's just something for people to consider because obviously a lot of people like, talking about the surrogacy conspiracies and everything. And I was kind of debating it. And I've always been on the record as not really being somebody who buys that particular narrative, and I understand that other people do, but my thing that I kind of came to is that if I'm proven wrong, all I can say is that Meghan Markle lied. But if the surrogacy conspiracy theorists end up being wrong, then it just kind of diminishes what other people have said in that sphere. So I try to keep it really, really, all that to say is I really try to go with things I can prove, things that I think are good sources, because at the end of the day, your record is very important. And if I go with the wrong thing and I stake like a huge portion of my reputation on it, and then I end up being wrong, then that might diminish everything else I say. So I really try to be, like you said, ethical, because that way that what I say can stand up to scrutiny, and which is what I try to do. I try to get my stuff that stands up to scrutiny, if that makes sense. So it's kind of challenging. So Nemera says, sometimes your fan base can be good or bad. Their fans have just been so nasty, vicious, and reflect her, to be honest. Yes. And honestly, too, this is my personal opinion. I've said this before. Meghan Markle, most of her fans strike me as people who really didn't emotionally mature past middle school. Because some of the tactics I've seen, is like, this is what people in middle school do, guys. This is like things people in middle school do. You're an adult. Like, be an adult. So it's just one of those things where it's just kind of unfortunate. But yeah, they are not a great reflection on her, to be sure. Sugar Cookie says Rachel is just too look at me and never reads a room, to the point of embarrassing Harry at times. Yes, I mean that video is really, really quite embarrassing. I don't think Oliver says, I don't think anyone has to like the Markles to know that throwing your family members, yes, even the crazy ones, is a gross thing to do. Loyalty is very important. Yes. And family is. My mom is a great example of that. She tries to talk to every single member of the family all the time. And I love that she's a great reflection of sometimes, relationships change and relationships are harder, but she really tries to do her best. Horror Beauty FX says, hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Did I miss anything? I may not have been long, but we had flood warnings here and strong storms warnings coming through. Well, I'm so sorry. I hope you guys are all doing super well. I mean, there's just been a couple of things. There's a new article about American Riviera Orchard by Richard Eden. We've got a new video of Meghan, which everybody's finding very interesting. And then we also have, of course, William, George, Charlotte, and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So we got Mary. Hello from wet South Texas. Gigi says, I love seeing Pippa. She loves seeing you guys too. She's just so happy. She's just a happy girl. Would you like to say something, Miss Pippa? Would you like to say something? You're right there by the mic. Yeah. She's like, pay attention to me. I don't know why you're talking to people who aren't here. Do you guys ever do that thing where it's like, you kind of have a puppy voice, and so like she knows puppy voice, so sometimes they go like in the puppy voice and speaking nonsense, and she still wags her tail. Julie says, do you think Harry still believes Meghan was a famous actress who gave up a successful career for him? That's a great question. Let me put you down, baby girl. I don't know. I think I would have to imagine at this point he knows it really wasn't true. And I think, his other family members tried to tell him that. Because I mean, even me, guys, I've never been a Hollywood actress or in the Hollywood industry, anything like that. But I'm a keen observer. Like my Myers-Briggs type is INTP. Like for Enneagram, it's like a 5 and stuff. I'm like, I'm an investigator, stuff like that. And so it's like I retain information. So, I've loved movies and television shows for years. I've watched Hollywood for years. Just looking at her CV, I knew she was a middling actress, because a middling actress doesn't have her CV, especially with a dad who was in the lighting industry within Hollywood. She had a great leg up because Hollywood is very much a nepotistic industry. Like you have to either look, really great, start when you're a kid, or you have to just be really, 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 really good, or go to like one of the art schools or something. She didn't do any of those things. And her stuff was middling. And then when I watched her stuff, I was like, like the Dater's Handbook, that is painful, painful acting. I think I could do a better job, to be quite honest. I used to act, and I sometimes wish I had done it more in like high school and stuff, but I got too self-conscious and everything. But goodness gracious me, that would be interesting. So I'm glad I didn't though, because I think it's a terrible, horrifically bad industry. But yeah, I can't foresee now him really thinking she was all that great of an actress, because yeah, she's been pretty much a failure at this point, and pretty much everything they've done. Debbie Carlock says, is Meghan pregnant? Saw an article about that. I really don't know. I really don't know. And I really don't want to go until we have confirmation or I see something. It's like, I really don't want to go down that path because I just don't really know. I don't want to speculate too much, even though I speculate they'll get divorced. But I think that's because if you look at their history and their lives up until the point where they met, those two people have nothing in common except for divorced parents. They have nothing in common. So, yeah. Except for a love for Meghan Markle. Despite a handwritten note, this is from E. Edwards, Meghan couldn't get Taylor on her podcast. If Meghan went to the Taylor show in LA, there were no backstage passes, royal boxes, or selfies with her. New jam flavor soon. Yeah. New jam flavor, but her first product might be wine, and and her 2 jams were not from orchards. Why did she name it orchard? Like, oh my god. I had an idea and I remember putting it to she should have named it after, like, a local wildflower there in the regions, and it's just yeah, and that's what she should have named it as. I don't know why she named it American Riviera Orchard. Like, there was, like, this whole article where I was mentioned, when I was super proud of, by the way. My on Twitter, and I was like, my, like, thoughts on ARO and how terribly worded it was, and they're like the ad experts was like, "Well," 'cause it's like an ad expert, like, publication. It's, like, for marketing managers and stuff. Like, "Well, the brand name's too specific to a region, it's not all that interesting. It's too long, too like all these issues." It was funny though to it's kind of funny to watch the British publications, especially the Daily Mail, because they'll like hype her up and then they'll say these things and I'm like, oh, come on. Lori says it was lovely to see Prince William having so much fun. Yeah, he was shaking it up. Shaking it up. It's so funny. Karen says, I think Jack Royston was trying to damage limitations, trying to distance Rachel and Harry from the sewer squad. Yeah, but Harry and Meghan need to be the ones who do that. They need to be the ones who call their fans out because at this point, honestly, it just keeps going. Lori Hawkins says, "Where's Doria these days?" I don't really know. I honestly don't really care about Doria and what she's doing. I mean, she's always seemed a bit sketch to me personally. I know some people were always like, "Oh, she's the best. She's a bright spot in Megan's life or something." I'm like, I really don't think so. I don't really. I think the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, guys. So that's always been my thought on Doria. I don't really have strong feelings about it. So I'm not really keeping up with where she's at. I mean, I hope she's working and doing whatever job she's doing and enjoying it. Rachel, Sugar Cookie says, Rachel's skin thing makes me laugh, and she always said she was white up until Doritos bought um, the race card into it. Yeah. Until it was, I mean, and you see it too. Like, there's kind of an interesting thing too going on in Hollywood, because I watch, the reactions to the entertainment things, and obviously there's been a horrific reaction to the Acolyte on Disney with Star Wars, and the main actress there, who's has a white father and a black mother, so she's mixed race, and very much like Megan, and she's complaining about people criticizing her performance, the terrible writing in the show, the terrible direction, the terrible story, like everything that's terrible about the show that has nothing to do with race. She's all conflating it. Oh, they're criticizing me because of my race. And she reacts against it by doing this video with her most of the time gyrating. And I'm like, okay, number one, you're not going to make your point by gyrating. That's just dumb. Just really, 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 really dumb. And it's this thing now where your race has been weaponized. And so I just think that's kind of a sad thing. Because again, I believe strongly in the Martin Luther King speech. We should be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. Strongly believe in that. There's also the Disney files or whatever that have been released by James O'Keefe showing the DEI practices there. All very, very interesting stuff. Highly, highly illegal, technically. Most likely, allegedly, what Disney is doing, if that is the case. Gotta say allegedly for legal reasons, but it's just kind of interesting. So Meghan definitely, when she got into the royal family, that stuff was very, very, I think, profitable. So she really was able to do that. But I think some of that is slowly, I don't think people are buying that quite as much. So, and I think one of her supporters said, I was like, oh, look at that balcony. Isn't it so white? I was like, well, what did you expect it to be? The British royal family has always been white. Like, what did you like? British people, the people who have been in Britain the longest, the historically British people, obviously it encompasses a lot more other people now because it's multicultural. They've been white. If they were all black, it would be weird because they're not in Africa. And just like the general just reality of the French royal family, the Belgian royal family, the British royal family, the Norwegian, all of them would be vast majority white. Now, yes, times have changed, mixed race has come into the picture, which is fantastic, of course, but the reality is, throughout all of British history, everybody's been kind of sort of white. It's I'm like, what are you talking about? And yes, Megan added some diversity, but she's the one who decided to leave. She's the one who decided that she couldn't hack it because, it couldn't be all about her. So we have a private pirate asking question. Do you know anything about the huge, gorgeous emerald brooch Queen Camilla was wearing at Ascot? Yes. So I was actually working on a video. Oh, I actually have my notes. And I wanted to ask if you guys like this. So actually, my mom actually got this for me. And so it has Princess Diana on the cover. And so I just was curious if people like that or not. So let me find my notes here because I think I wrote down the notes. Okay, so that emerald brooch, I think I wrote it down, was gifted by the ladies of India at the 1911 Delhi Durbar. And it could be put into Queen Mary's sapphire tiara, which is kind of the bandeau that Princess Margaret has worn. And so it's a carved emerald brooch. And Queen Camilla recently wore it at Ascot. Do you find that interesting? I found that interesting. Yes. Okay. Kathy says, look at Princess Charlotte's face like any child having a selfie with our favorite star. Yes, it's so cute. It's so cute. Jean says, a wee bit late to try to distance themselves from the Sussex squad, but then it's on point for them if things start to not be to their benefit, they're dropped. Yes, but I mean, they were on the record basically going to Nigeria with the Sussex squad there who had paid for like giant posters that said love the Sussex squad or something. Like it's cray cray. Because here's the thing, guys. When it comes to royal watching, when people go to see Catherine and William, you do see signs. They are handmade signs. They're handmade signs going, hi, William. Hi, Catherine. Something, something. But oftentimes they don't. Sometimes there's cardboard cutouts in Catherine and William that we saw sort of at Trooping. I don't know where those came from exactly. Maybe they got them from a store or something. I don't know. But I don't feel like like in the royal watching community, like normal royal watchers, they don't commission people to make like a placard sign that says, that has all this love and adoration for Catherine. Like they don't do that because that's weird. That's not normal. So Jean says, what video? So I'm doing a video on it. I'm doing the video on the video. Yes, I know it's confusing. There's a video of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry when they were in Nigeria. He is getting gifts. And Meghan barges in to take a gift from him, only to be told after a necklace is put around her neck that no, that was always meant for her husband. There was another one for her. And it is as cringy as it looks and as uncomfortable as you would think that would look. Terry says Archie's birth announcement that was placed on the palace gates was not signed by any palace official or doctor. Yes, because Meghan is a control freak. In addition to being a narcissist, I think, personally, I also believe she is a bit of a control freak. And she exercised her control by denying any palace official any access to her during her pregnancy, by using doctors that were not really vetted by the palace, anything like that. She probably had all those doctors and nurses and everyone sign NDAs and everything. And she did that again because she wanted control and she wanted to deny the press something because she wanted to be in control. Unfortunately, the reality is once you do that, guess what? Surrogacy rumors pop up. That's the result of that. So bravo, Harry and Meghan, bravo. Because so much of the time, not all the time, so much of the time, Harry and Meghan are the ones responsible for their own terrible press. They are the ones who started it. They are almost always the ones who started it. So Butterbugs baked goods. Meghan's vest and talking style is so boring. Yes. And it's funny because people complain about my voice and my voice isn't perfect, but maybe I need to work on it at some point. But her voice is just nails on a chalkboard, kind of bad. It's not great, especially because it's just so fake. The earnestness and everything is just so fake. Ritz says her main goal has always been and will be to get money and do nothing, not to lift a finger, yeah. And I think that's very much. And when your goal is to just make money, I feel like that sort of doesn't work because I think success is bred from having a successful project, not just the pure pursuit of money. Unless you're like a financial advisor or something, you're really, really good with the numbers. I just don't, I think she's going to fail again because she's not doing anything she's really, truly passionate about because I don't think she has a really true passion. She's just constantly trying to follow the next thing, trying to do X, Y, and Z. She doesn't really have a passion because she's just so trying to do something that she thinks people will like without being herself. And again, I think being yourself sells. I think it does. I don't know if it sells for her, but we've never seen her try. Water says, I'm glad the state visit is still happening. Me too. Oh my gosh. And I forgot to do upcoming events on my most recent Crown report. That's sad. Sugar Cookie says, I have a rectangular frame as well, just wider and taller than she is. She has to stop buying clothes that are too big long. Zion should stop offering clothes that don't fit. Yes. And she has a tricky figure. So, like, no matter what, she'd have a hard time finding something that fits correctly. I think she would. Like, I feel like mine's a little bit easier because I do have more of that classic hourglass silhouette. Now, if I'm way more, my lower half is a bit wider. But like this up here is actually rather tiny, all things considered. Like, like in comparison to what it could be, like my shoulders and everything, like my frame is kind of small in some ways. If that makes sense. I don't know. So that's kind of, I don't know. Alternative says, hi, Saturday crew. Britt, do you think in another reality, a sweet wife marrying in, if she had gotten the Queen Elizabeth perfectly, do you think she would have worn the Strathmore tiara? Perhaps. It all depends on what was available to her and what she was offered. And so it might have been that Catherine was like, oh, I really, really do want to wear that one. Put that one aside for me. Let's get it cleaned up and spruced up or whatever. Might have been something where they had to wait for Queenie to die before actually revamping what's in the vault. There's just so much in the vault that we've never seen, which is crazy to think about. Because there are some royal families like Sweden where they bust everything out all the time. So you see just like kind of everything. Dutch are kind of like that too. Although Princess Beatrix, who was Queen Beatrix at one point, she just didn't like the really heavy tiaras. So we didn't see many of the really heavy tiaras because she didn't like them. But yeah, I'm just so excited. So yeah, I don't know. Could definitely possibly be, but I'm not sure. But I do have a suggestion about who can maybe wear Meghan's wedding tiara, the Queen Mary's bandeau tiara, maybe at the upcoming Japanese state visit, because someone doesn't have a tired and true diamond tiara, and I think she needs a new one. That's my thought. Gretchen I says, I know that most of us hate people, but they had a good article with pics about Prince William and family at Taylor Swift concert yesterday. Yeah, I mean, again, people print stuff that they've been given by PR teams. So, like, some of their stuff is good, some of their stuff is bad. Again, I just personally, again, found it really, 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 really obnoxious that they were like, oh, Meghan's wedding ring was only, or engagement ring was only missing for a bit. And I was like, no, 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 it was missing for an entire year. So, yeah. Ooh, sorry. I went to people to see if they had something interesting, but they've had the same pictures that we have, we've seen from Twitter and everything that Taylor and the royal family has posted. All right. Ocean Cat says, what do you think of Jerry Springer RF channels that argue amongst each other? It's so tacky. Glad you stick to yourself. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have like a panel, but again, I'm very cautious about moving forward because I just don't want to get just cautious with who I speak to because I want to make sure I'm speaking with people who I really like their work and what they're doing and everything. And I feel like there's too much, not everyone, of course, but there's a lot of gossipy stuff that's just unsubstantiated. And I just want to stay away from that stuff personally. That's just how I've done things, and I think that's a good way to go. Hi, Brittany. This is from Carolina Isaacs. Your account was mentioned by Spanish entertainment magazine Vaniteas about your tweet on the Spanish princesses. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll have to screenshot that because I'll have to look it up now. Hold on. There we go. I will have to look that up. That makes me so excited because I was getting quoted by some things for a while, and then it kind of went away, and I don't know why. He was like, did I do something wrong? Because I know, like, sometimes I post things and, like, literally the next day, some other outlet is covering it. I was like, I think I was the first person to post that. So, yeah. Leisha asks, how sweet is it that Prince William chose to spend his birthday celebration with his children at the Taylor Swift concert? I can't imagine Meghan would do anything like that. I don't really think so either. It'll be interesting to see because as the kids get older, it'll be harder to keep them at home. So it'll be interesting to see what Meghan Markle is kind of maybe sort of forced to do. So, Bella Raindrops, thank you so much for the tip. Next ARO product, bitter orange marmalade. Well, at least oranges come from an orchard. Okay. I don't know why the branding stuff bothers me so much, but it does because it's just so bad. How do you not have people helping you with this? Oh my goodness. Bella Raindrop said as well, thank you again for the tip. No one ruins things so completely for Harry and Meghan more than Harry and Meghan. Yes, they cannot get out of their own way. That mic was worth the money, Brittany is brilliant. Why, thank you. Yes. So, I mean, this is actually the mic I have on the arm is technically the more expensive mic, but this one is just, I just kind of, I can hardwire this one in really easily, which is great. I do actually have a whole contraption thing that I need to try where I can more hardwire this one in. I think it's my soundboard over here that's bad, which is unfortunate because that's the most expensive between the mics and the soundboard is the soundboard. But I think there's something wrong with it. Maybe I need to send it back to a Rode and see if they can fix it, or I need a cord or something because this thing just does not work correctly. So, but this microphone works perfectly. So thank you. Yes, worth the money. Unfortunately, though, I have a more expensive one over there that's collecting dust right now. So that's not always fun. Deborah says, don't we all know by now that Princess Catherine would not Photoshop any pictures? She apologized to the world. Yes, she did. And again, there's nothing wrong with doing a little Photoshopping. It happens all the time. The Kardashians do it constantly. And I think, again, it was all the stuff that was going around the family and like, questions about where, Catherine was and it all just conflated into something terrible, which shouldn't have been. Janine says, sorry for the repeat on super chat dictation while driving. Ugh, no worries at all. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, because sometimes it happens, you're typing and you don't quite see and stuff. Oh, Per Majesty said, sorry, I meant to say cover the Strathberry sale. I'd love to see your cover, which bags the rails carry. I need to put that on my reading glasses. Yes. Yes, I can do that. I can do that. Because I just thought it would be fun. Because there are, guys, such great deals going on right now. And I realize that for most people, the stuff is not attainable. But there's actually some pretty decent prices. I got the first GMV to Rossi pumps I got, which I don't know if I've ever really worn outside the house yet. Because they're these bright lime green ones. But I wanted them to do them for an experiment, and I actually just purchased something else I'm going to use for a sort of a heel experiment type thing. And what was I saying there? And where was I going with that? Now I totally lost it. Oh, but I only got them for like $200. They were really, 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 really cheap. So you can get some great, great stuff. Truth Watcher says, Brittany, you're done. You're a one-woman show and you created such intriguing and fun channel with co-hosts. Us devoted listeners. Yay! Something Megan failed to achieve. Oh my gosh. So true. Like, how can she? I don't understand how she fails so spectacularly with all her help. Mary says, girl, get a Roby lawnmower. It has a battery and I love it. I'm 66 and I move it. Yes, I did actually have one of those, but we ended up moving and we ended up selling it. So I got a free one from my parents. So I'll take free over something else any day of the week. Because my parents have moved quite a lot and, we have as a family. And so they just kind of tended to to accumulate more stuff. And so half their stuff would be in storage. And so they'd need a new lawnmower. They need a little weed whacker. They have like 12 rakes. So they're like kind of getting rid of stuff. And I was like, well, can I have that? Can I have that? I'm like, yeah, I've gotten a sweeper. I've gotten a rake. I got a lawnmower. I'm like, well, if you guys have another weed whacker, my mom's like, I'm sure we have one. Because I need a weed whacker, but I don't really want to buy one if they have a free one. But yes, that is an awesome lawnmower. I will agree with that. P Pacific says, Brittany, you can watch Real Ascot after your program is live right now from Windsor. It's on your local NBC channel. Awesome. Gretchen I says, I heard someone say ARO sounds like a name generated by some kind of AI designed to furnish pretentious brands. Yeah, it's a terrible name. It's a terrible name. Terrible name. Again, Royal News Network. I was trying to think of a name and I remember, oh yeah, CNN is Cable News Network. Royal News Network. Oh. And it's a name that can kind of grow, that shows a broader vision for the channel than what we have. Emerald brooch, Rich says, I love emeralds. Missed that. Yes, it is gorgeous. It's a very big emerald, and it can be fitted on top of the other tiara there. And uh, what was it? And I really liked her turquoise brooch too. She wore a turquoise brooch. Wasn't a fan of the outfit, but I liked the turquoise because I do like turquoise. I was kind of bummed there was this jewelry brand that I really liked, and they had these turquoise earrings and they had this matching turquoise necklace, and the turquoise necklace went away before I could buy it. It's really sad. Flower Market says, you have a lovely voice. It is authentic and earnest. Anyone who doesn't like your voice should be forced to listen to Megan's breathy and annoying voice. Why, thank you. Oh man. It's just, yeah. I always like, I was like, I don't think my voice is that bad. There are worse voices. Tori Myers says Megan doesn't know how to be herself. She doesn't. She doesn't. I don't know. They might be even the thing where if you've ever watched Tropic Thunder, the Michael, no, not Michael, Robert Downey Jr. character is like his spoof is that he's this uber method actor. And so he kind of has this crisis of who am I? Because he's so method that he doesn't really know who he is. Meghan Markle's kind of like that. She's not a great method actress or any actress really at any point. But yeah, it will be, yeah, she doesn't know how to be herself. And so she may have a crisis of who am I at some point. Janine Walsh says, Aero boxed wine will be on my Christmas list for everyone. Well, especially with the people you don't like. Oh man. Oh man. Yes. Water says that's why I like you and Taz. Yes, Taz gives a little bit more digs to Mimi than you, but she never crosses the line and only gives her opinion and what is fact. Yes, I agree with that because I watched Taz for a long time. I don't always watch other royal YouTubers now because I am an auditory listener and reader and stuff. So if I hear things, I like internalize them, and so I don't want. I want to keep my perspective fresh always by going off, like not responding to somebody else or not trying to do what somebody else is doing, but really always going with my voice and not really getting influenced by other. It doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? I know I'm not explaining it very well, but that's just what I decided to do. So I listen to other channels. Partly too, it gives me a break. Every once in a while, I'll like, oh yeah, I should listen to this video Taz. But sometimes I'm like, or Murky Mag, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I can't listen. I need a break, so I listen to other things. So like, oh, that's better. And it honestly too, looking at other programs that are different gives me ideas for what I can do here. So CKLG says, Meghan Markle's YouTubers do nothing but repeat to make money and steal other people's work to use as their own. It's so obvious. Yeah, I just don't even see any of them. Sugar Cookie says, Brittany, you should be happy your channel wasn't in the list of hater channels. They seem to be having issues off and on. Yeah, I was actually kind of proud of that, to be honest, because I want people to come and like, yes, I criticize Harry and Meghan, but I also have a lot of other content, and my content is deeper and it's more based in a lot of knowledge on royalty. And so it just kind of like if they actually watched it, their opinion might change. And so they don't want to watch they don't want to encourage people to watch my channel because then people's opinions might change or they might learn something. All right. And Malian says RNM is damn sight more accurate than Kinsey Schofield, and she gets everywhere. Yeah, she gets on a lot of things. I was like, oh, I really haven't listened to her, to be quite honest. SEJ says, Brittany, I think you were better off just doing this solo. I've recently come back unsubbed from a bunch of channels. It's gotten ridiculous, especially in the live chats. Yeah, I want to do a live chat that is almost more programmy, where I look at different articles and discuss and react to them. So it's more program, not so much popcorn. So we may try that, but like more during the week or something. But we shall see. And I could cover other things too, and not always everything. And I like the Crown Report because I feel like it's a succinct program, and I really like that. I also like the idea of doing something live too, reacting to maybe more of the crazy Harry and Meghan stories because there's so many. Margaret says, love your channel. You have such great knowledge of royalty throughout Europe. Why, thank you. Sammy Lewis says, where's Louis? I think he is at home with Mama. And I think he's probably perfectly fine. It might have been just a thing where he's just not a fan of Taylor Swift or something like that. And so, like Bella Raindrop says, he's only 6 and he's maybe not really into that quite yet. Like concerts, maybe doesn't know what to do. It would have been fun, but Farrah says, I think Catherine touched up Photoshopped the pic because she didn't take it. William did. He's not as savvy as the one with the camera. Yeah, and these cameras, do I have it? Oh. This is the new one I got. This one's not quite as fancy as my other ones. But I mean, these are complicated. They're not just like you can do point and shoot, but it's not quite as you need to. But oh, I don't have a battery in this one. But yeah, they're heavy, they're not, like, clear and stuff, so but yeah, it's a good deal though. Man, I saved, like, a lot of money on this, so I was really excited because then lens was expensive too, and so I was like, "Well, I don't have a lens, it's 24 to 105." I always wonder sometimes, it's like, "Should I do a campaign? Because I really want the I really want a specific lens, and they're very expensive." Because there's a one lens there's a lens that I'm thinking in my future is my tiara lens. Really want that one, but it's more pricey. But I needed really something for because if I ever did interviews in person and stuff, I'd want cross video. So this is the same brand or even same style as the one I have over there that's filming me right now. So because you could do it crossways, and I still have my other big like camera where I could do for like, one in front and then two cross. So it gets each person in the thing. So I'd love to do that at some point. And so, having a camera like this can last me a while. And I don't really need something super duper complicated. And this is not super duper complicated. And I kind of like I have this camera here static, and I didn't want to take it on and off to like check and use over there. So I'm kind of glad I have an alternative, and I got a new lens. And actually, about the price of the camera was about the price of the lens new. So I was like, I got a pretty good deal. Got a pretty good deal. Tawny Green says, I have one Strathberry bag and planning to buy more and two Tusting bags. I have seen Catherine with a Tusting bag. I don't even remember. That's crazy. Which style that is. That's awesome though. I do like the Strathberry ones. There was actually a black one that was like gorgeous. I saw it in like Saks or something, and I really wanted it. But actually, the Saks had a better deal because they had like really expensive shoes on sale. I have discovered at the end of the day, guys, I'm a shoe girl. I like my shoes. I'm not as much as a purse person. I do have nice purses, but I was like, you know what? I don't gravitate to purses as much as I gravitate to shoes, which is dumb because if you buy an expensive pair of shoes, what do? You put it on your feet, you walk around, and you mess it up. Oh man. So, anyways, GL Hunter says, really pleasant live today, Brittany. Well, thank you. I was like I was kind of nervous because, oftentimes we do talk about Harry and Meghan and stuff, but I really, really um, tried to like, I was like, oh, you know what, today I'll try something different, a little, anti-Harry Meghan and stuff like that. So, yeah. Gretchen says, I'd love a membership with article commentary. We could post an article links and members so we could read what we want before the chat. Oh, that would be fun. I like reading. CKLG says most Meghan Markle channels are a joke anymore. I've got better things to do with my life. You would think some of these YouTubers would have a life. Well, maybe it makes money, so they keep doing it. Oh yeah, Gretchen says Arthur Edwards did a great commentary for the Sun about Catherine's Father Day pic and how great a photographer she has become. That is awesome. I'd love to see. I should look that up because again, you can get pictures like that with something like this. I probably my R3 would be better, but like oh man, it doesn't have a. Is this battery? We should wrap this up in a minute, but let's see. No, oh no, there it goes. But there's like so many like little. Let's see if we go to like mode. You go to manual or whatever. Like there's so many different like modes, things you can change and everything. You can make it darker, you can make it lighter. Oh gosh, it's more complicated than you might think. Like shutter speed and everything. It was crazy. So yes, I appreciate that. He did that. P Pacific says, Brittany and friends, you can watch a full documentary that is at Charles and Anne's Students Clips was taken easy to find on YouTube. Elizabeth at 90 Family Tribute 1080p. Yes, that sounds perfect. Loyal commentator. Oh gosh, I still love your name. Megan's Wilted Orchard. It wouldn't surprise me if she blames its failure on climate change. That is so good. RR says, I really appreciate your channel because you don't go down rabbit holes to chase all the conspiracy theories. Thank you. I think there's a place for that, looking into stuff, but it's also just Sometimes I think you're better off not chasing those just because at the end of the day, if somebody lied to the public about something and you didn't and you bought the lie, it's really on them for lying to you. Whereas if you go down the conspiracy theory and you're proved wrong, then you're kind of labeled the crazy one. That's the danger, I think, of conspiracy theories. So I always try to again go with really what makes sense. So, anyways, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. And so I guess thank you guys so much for joining and listening to all my crazy ramblings and my crazy camera stories. Not that I had that many of those. And you can actually see, forgot my lenses are right there. Um, we do have one person. Oh, Bella Raindrops became a YouTube member. Why, thank you so much, Bella. That would be awesome. Have a great weekend, everyone. And Ella says, I think we might see Catherine at Wimbledon, but only if it's not too hot. Could be an issue for the save her health. Yes, I will end with that. I think Wimbledon is a very strong possibility. I'm not feeling the Japanese state visit. I could be totally wrong. So I don't know when we'll see Catherine next, but anytime she deems herself feeling well enough to show up, I think we will all be right there behind her. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining. All your support means so much. And I shall see you guys again really, really soon. And be lookout for a couple of videos today, hopefully, because I ain't going outside. All right, guys. Bye. Have a good